Hello, hello everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, my hair looks awful. I gotta fix my hair a bit. Ugh, that's a mess. Okay, well, shit happens, right? Okay, so we got a lot to talk about today. A lot going on, as I'm sure many of you know, especially if you were around yesterday. Uh, Gotta fix this. Sorry, my gayness is coming out. Okay, one second, one second. Let me just fix. There we go. Well, whatever. It's fine. I don't really give a shit. Okay. Uh, Whatever. We'll leave it kind of crazy. We'll leave it kind of crazy. No, we won't. No, we won't. We can't do that. We can't do that. There we go. Okay. Hi everyone. Let me see who's here. Let me see who is here today. Um, okay. We got Radon. Hello, Radon. Welcome back, Radon. Glad to see you here. Alyssa. Hello, hello. Um, Hello, Alyssa. We will talk a little bit about 9/11 when we have a chance to, because it is in fact 9/11. Sir Bartholomew, wonder how that kid that dressed up like, by the way, welcome, Sir Bartholomew. Wonder how that kid dressed up like for Charlie Kirk for Halloween is taking all this. Yeah. For those who don't know, I would have students come in dressed like Charlie Kirk for Halloween. That is what Sir Bartholomew is referring to. Fazaflix, welcome, Fazaflix. Yeah, Radon, I saw the video too. Kind of wish I hadn't. Don't recommend people go looking for it, but it's pretty gruesome. Let's see here. Six Semper Tyrannis, Sir Bartholomew with the great quotes here. I won't say what that means just because for the sake of TOS, but okay. Pizza, hello, Pizza. Welcome back, Pizza. Demosthenes, hello, Demosthenes. Glad to see you here, Demosthenes, and Pizza, of course. Toya, hello, Toya. Radon, Nepal situation was also crazy. They shouldn't have burned the politician. Did they burn a politician? I would not be surprised if they did, but I didn't know that. Hello, Robert. Welcome. Glad to see you here, Robert. Galatia, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Galatia. As an outsider watching the U.S. go through its years of lead, could have been an exercise in vanity, but knowing that whatever happens in the U.S. transmit through hegemony to my home country, yeah, Galatia, we have to remember that, folks, that what happens in the U.S. has a massive global impact, oftentimes extremely negative. Radon, thank you. Yeah, so Radon, that would be Meowzord. Meowzord made the logo, the new waiting screen logo. I think it's great. Hello, Vex. Welcome back, Vexed. Let's see here. AMA Gaming. Hello, AMA Gaming. Welcome back, AMA Gaming. Lee Lane. Hello, Lee Lane. Another classic here. Big Braden. Oh, dude, I haven't had a haircut since January since I'm growing it out. Your hair looks fine compared to mine. Laughing mess. Hey, I've always got to make sure I get haircuts because I'm just that way, but I get it. Big uh Yep, your jester head is purple now. That means you've so folks, they actually that brings me to this, Braden. If you sign up, folks, for as little as 99 cents a month, you can get a cute little jester hat next to your name, which changes color for the longer you remember. Big Braden's is now blue because he's been a member for a while. So you can do that. You also get access to some emojis, and I'm either tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to do a members only stream. It's only 99 cents a month. If anyone's interested, click the join button. Okay. Radon, Toy, the situation is definitely being manipulated. Yeah, absolutely. Hello, Draconics. Welcome. Yeah, Big Braden, I know. The videos from Gaza, just as bad, if not worse. All of them are disturbing. Both Charlie Kirk and the videos from Gaza. Okay. Hello, Marky. Welcome back, Marky. Making wow, yikes! Can't believe anyone would dress as him. Did they make their head look gigantic? No, they didn't. But they did dress like him. Hello, Fox Emblem. Welcome from hell. Okay, Galatia. It's too often the anti-imperialist or non-aligned states that get to incur such devastation to the extent that Nepal is going through right now. Absolutely, Galatia. Absolutely. Hello, Matt Sai guy. Hello, Matt Sai guy. Hello, Druzilla's here. Michael, you are not here. I think you are there, Michael. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm seeing a lot of good things. Macy's here. Hello, Macy. Thank you, Big Braden, for showing off our emojis. I fixed the chain breaker one. You can kind of see it now. Maybe it's still too dark. Maybe I should send it to Meowzord to fix it. Okay. But new Meowzord, new potential YouTube header in Discord. Thank you, Meowzord. I'll take a look at that. Okay, guys. Yeah, you're right, Brad. So, folks, we got a lot to talk about. I will say this. I have a 10 super chat limit up, but this is the deal, okay? Because of everything going on in the news, I'm not going to be doing the jester collar thing. But what I will do is this. I have next to me a whole bunch of different nail polishes. Every donation I get, you get to choose the color for one of my fingers, okay? I have a whole bunch of different nail polishes here. $2 is the lowest amount. You can send like a bunch of different kinds. You can choose the color of one of my fingers. If we get to 10 super chats, so if my nails are completely painted, I'll stream for an extra 30 minutes. And then if we get 5 more after that, I'll stream for another extra 30 minutes. Okay. So that is what we have for our super chat right now. Highly appreciate anyone who donates. Uh, okay, let me see here. Yeah, I'm trying to see. We got some good chats here. My sympathies are staying with the other gun violence victims who aren't a neo-Nazi. Yep. Mm-hmm. How am I holding up? I'm not doing great, Pizza. I got to be honest with you. Got honest with you. All my tooth is hurting me. A lot of bad stuff is going on in the news. The dental appointment didn't go well because I ended up not having the surgery because they realized that it's going to take more work than they thought. So I have to wait now till November because the surgeon is gone during October. So I have to wait till November. So I just kind of have to live with the pain until then. Uh, yeah, I believe it, Alyssa. I believe it. And I thank you, Alyssa, for that. I'd be careful, CR, posting any clipped videos regarding it. It's a hot topic, and you're going to be flooded. I won't be surprised if the chats get hijacked during stream. Matt Saigai actually pointed this out to me already. I'm being kind of selfish by not closing the stream to just members or whatever. Uh, um, yeah, big brain. It's a dental surgeon. It's a maxillofacial surgeon. A dental surgeon. Yeah, I know. So I'll be okay though, folks, really. So okay. Uh, Thank you. Thank you. Who is this? The Matt Sai guy? Is this Matt Sai guy? Thank you for that, Matt Sai guy. I think that's Matt Sai guy. I'm having trouble seeing it. Thank you for the super chat. Matt Sai guy, would you like to choose the first color for one of my fingers? We got you can just say it in chat. Do you want number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4? We also got purple, number 5. And we got this one here, which is number 6, orange. Just throw a number there. Okay. We also got gray, 8, 8, 9. Just give me a number. Matt Saigai, and I will choose. That'll be my first nail that I do. Okay. Purple. Thank you, Matt Saigai. Done. Purple done. Okay. So I'll do purple. So folks, we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to get into it. You all know I'm history person. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the 100% C. Morales. They're blaming the left immediately. For those who watched yesterday, I think I kind of said this would probably happen, but so let's see here. Again, folks, if we get every super chat, you get to choose. You'll be able to choose the next color of my next finger. Okay. I know, Alyssa, I removed the nail polish because I messed it up so bad during stream that I had to redo it. So now I just took it all off and I'm starting over again. Okay. All right. So I'll paint my nail. Okay. So first of all, let me pull up this stream. So we have a few things to talk about. I have Alyssa, and we're going to watch it together now too. So first of all, this came out this morning. Now this is the Wall Street Journal. I haven't heard any other news agencies talk about this. But alas, um, apparently, according to the Wall Street Journal, I'm going to actually zoom in on this for you. They say they say that there's some law enforcement who leaked to them that the ammunition was engraved with, quote, transgender and anti-fascist ideology. Whatever the hell that means, I don't know. Um, Big Braden, I did not. Oh, yeah, please do, folks. Send that to me. If it's been disproven, I will then yeah, I will gladly retract that. That's just what I heard. But Please send me the link. I will take a look. So, folks, there are people in chat saying that the New York Times released an article disproving that. So it could have been that before I even knew. That has already been disproven. You'll take number one? Okay. Thank you, Demosthenes, with a large Mountain Dew. No ice. Okay. Number one, I got you. I think number one was, yep. Okay. So I'll do purple. So they wanted to out that first and then walk it back quietly. Yeah, look, I fell for it. Okay, if that's the case. I was gonna say, uh, if the New York Times just disproved that, then that's fantastic. So, uh, all right. So I got one done for the purple. Yeah. Oh, yeah, folks, please like the stream if you don't mind. Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you for that. I send you a screenshot of what King Blue posted. Okay, I'll take a look at that. I'm going to go through the rest of this first. So, again, folks, remember I can get things wrong. Um, uh, uh, okay, folks, do we have mods in chat right now? Any mods? Would someone please deal with what we're seeing here? Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you. I don't know if there's any mods here right now. Maybe Big Braden. Big Braden is a mod. Do you mind dealing with the fascists? Thank you. It's okay. I know you may not have seen it, Big Brain, but I'm just saying. Okay. All right. So I got one now nail. Oh gosh, I'm trying to do my nails fast now. We got two nails painted. And Alyssa, thank you, Alyssa. You asked for number 3. Fantastic. We'll do red. Okay. Oh no, it's Big Brain. Don't worry. It's okay. Okay. So let me see here, folks. So I must be wrong about this. They must have retracted it, so that's good to know. Now I wanted to show you something else here that happened. So after, let's see here. I'm going to find here. Donald Trump did a speech yesterday.
The moment is ours.
Forgive me for that little thing there. Okay, so let's all listen to what Trump said about this. Okay. So we will. I'm going to. All right. So thank you, Big Brain. Okay. So let's talk about what Donald Trump said. Now, remember, folks, my fear has been that this is going to turn into a massive demonizing effort. We're already somewhat seeing it. So let's see what Donald Trump had to say. Okay. Thank you, Big Brain.
Fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom.
Jesus, I'm sorry,
and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith. And we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the 2 young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense on campuses nation.
Real fast, folks. So thank you, guys. I see in the Discord now the thing here. It says this is from the New York Times. According to a preliminary internal report circulated inside the thank you for King Low. Circulated inside the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosive, federal and local officials recovered ammunition with the shooter's rifle that appeared to be engraved with statements expressing transgender and anti-fascist ideology. But a senior law enforcement official with direct knowledge of the investigation cautioned that the report had not been verified by ATF analyst did not match other summaries of the evidence and might turn out to have been misread or misinterpreted. In fast-moving investigations, such status reports are not made public because they often contain mixtures of accurate and inaccurate information. Okay, so we're still not sure if that is in fact true.
Wide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst.
Well, if the if it quacks like a duck and it walks like a duck anyway.
Mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now.
Okay.
My administration will find each
directly responsible. That is not how that works.
And every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials.
Do we see the problem here? Okay, saying the organizations that funded and supported. How do we define that? How do we define that? That is very dangerous rhetoric coming from Donald Trump's mouth. Because what do we call? I mean, are we talking news agencies that speak out against Trump and say that there's fascist tactics going on? Okay.
Officials and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent.
Of course, leaving out all of the right-wing terrorism that has taken place, all the murders, the attack on Pelosi's husband, the murder of the people in Wisconsin. Was it Wisconsin? Leaving all that out, of course.
Innocent people and taken too many lives.
Yeah, also big brain. Yes, also radical. The Jan 6.
Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country.
Minnesota,
an assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
So there's something, folks, called stochastic terrorism.
We are following that other big breaking.
Stochastic terrorism being where you speak in a way that pushes radical people that are listening to you to take action. A lot of this is stochastic terrorism. Okay, I mean, saying we can't let this go unpunished. We need to go after these organizations that fund this. What does that mean? Like, what do you mean? We also don't even know if the guy, I don't even know if it's a guy. The person who did this attack is in fact a radical leftist. But of course, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that there were quote unquote anti-fascist, transgender ideology, whatever the hell that means, on the rifle. We don't know that yet. We don't even know who it was. Okay, so this is a big problem. So very big problem. So that is what we see coming out of Trump. I'm going to show you some other things here. Something else that happened yesterday, folks, is in Congress. So there were some
they told me to follow my dreams, but they didn't tell me that it would be 600 hours of that. See, I couldn't afford an assistant, so I gave my inbox to AI. See, every
did this when asked about what had happened. Okay, when asked about what had happened, with Charlie Kirk, hello Mithril. This is what we got. Yeah, you're right, Odious Botch. There is a photo out now of the alleged shooter that they caught on camera. So yeah. So let's watch this now. This is Nancy Mace being asked about what happened with Charlie Kirk.
Stated, my kids have called panicking. They probably all the kids of every conservative in the country called panicking. Just because you speak your mind on an issue doesn't mean you get shot.
I did not mean
and killed. And he was talking about mass tranny violence.
Hey, first of all, do not use that word. That is a slur. Okay, I'm not even going to say it. The word she just used is a slur. Do not use it. Monstrous woman, Nancy Mace is. Horrible human being. Disgusting.
It's happened. In this country, we have the First Amendment. We have freedom to speak what's on our mind and shouldn't get shot because we believe in our system of democracy, conservative, liberal,
Alyssa.
Whatever you are, you shouldn't be shot for your beliefs. Nobody believes in that. And I hope that every single Democrat across the country will stand up and acknowledge that they have a problem within their party.
Yep. So, of course, it is the Democratic Party's fault. So here, that was them. Now, this was Fox News. Okay. Again, disgusting language coming from Nancy Mace. Yeah, you're right, Oz. Yep, you're right. There was an MSNBC reporter who stated the truth about Charlie Kirk and the language he used, and he was fired for saying it. Okay. So here we have Fox News. So here we go. Let's see what Fox News says. I think some of you probably have seen this already. This is what's his face? Waters, idiot Waters, whatever his name is. So we'll watch him. Okay. Also, folks, if we get 7 more super chats, if you send me any of the chat, if you send me $2, you get to choose the next color that I put on my nails. Okay. If we get up to 10, I'll stream for an extra 30 minutes. But here we go. Let's watch.
Fox News alert: Charlie Kirk assassinated. The president breaking the news. The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead.
So
no
I'm
one
actually going to
understood
skip.
or had the heart of.
I'm going to skip to the part that is relevant for our purposes here. Okay.
Helping push policy, execute an agenda, and communicate ideas.
Yeah,
and he was able to raise millions and millions of dollars because people believed in Charlie.
Yep, you're right,
he was
Andrew
charming
Martinez.
And earnest.
Thank you,
Jesse
Waters.
Never took a day off. And was trusted by everybody who knew him. No one ever said a bad word about Charlie Kirk. Every time he did a hit on my show, he'd text me afterwards saying, "Thanks, Jess, for having me on. Really appreciate it." My 13-year-old daughter loves him. Grandparents love him. Charlie wasn't offensive at all. He wasn't trying to be provocative. He was a gentleman. Really? He just asked questions.
Folks, that was his whole brand, was to be offensive. Let's be honest. It was to offend people, which gets you more clicks, more likes, more people watching. That was his whole brand. If anyone has seen the new South Park episode, they make fun of it. Okay.
Enjoyed debates, just like America's greatest leaders always have.
He intentionally tried to provoke substance out of you. And you said, well, I'm worried about some laws Congress should pass. I have to ask, what?
I'm going to go ahead here. I want to get to what Jesse Waters ends up saying here. Okay.
For asking questions. What kind of message does that send? Don't ask questions. It's too dangerous. Charlie spoke the truth. He said what he felt, and they killed him for it. The message is shut your mouth. If you can be murdered for speaking your mind in America, then America's done. We might as well live in the dark ages.
Absolutely,
and this isn't the first time this has happened. This is just the worst time. They shot Trump. They went to Kavanaugh's house with a rifle. They're firebombing Elon's cars, rioting in L.A. Trans shooters are killing our kids.
Okay, again, disgusting scapegoating against trans people. Trans people are less likely to commit mass shootings than the general population. Again, scapegoating. saying that trans people are killing our kids. No, yeah, there have been trans shooters, but that's just a matter of statistics, and it isn't. It is still less than the rest of the population. Okay. Again, more demonizing language, more scapegoating. And folks, here in a second, I'm going to talk a little bit about history so we can understand the context of what may happen, based off things that have happened historically. Oz, I did paint my nail. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. I got 2 green there. Okay. All right. So really disgusting language there.
They just plugged 2 Jews outside the embassy in our capital. Hell, Rand Paul got his ribs broken by his neighbor. ICE agents have to wear masks because their families are getting death threats. It's officially over now. After today, we're not taking it anymore.
By the way, transgender people in the United States have some of the highest rates of being murdered. So if you want to talk about a group that's been targeted, okay, black women too. Black women disappear a lot. I mean, okay.
They're telling us we're at war.
We're in a war right now to save this country, and
so
you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
Whatever
this is a war we didn't ask for, and this is a war they can't win. The way to win is to do what Charlie did. Speak your mind louder. Tell the truth.
Notice, folks, notice the sort of subtle clues here. He didn't say it, but he did show a video where someone said, with whatever means necessary. And then he said to be louder, louder. Yeah, that could mean voice. That could also mean other things. This is coded language. This is very much stochastic terrorism-like language. Okay.
More. Put so much pressure on all of these people that they never try anything like this again. This
put so much pressure on these people that they never try anything again.
This is a turning point.
Everything
that we've witnessed recently is unacceptable. Everyone's going to be held accountable in the media, in Congress, on campus, everywhere. So follow your heart. Fight for what you believe in. And don't be ashamed of putting America first. We know what's right, and we know what needs to be done. Challenge them harder. Ask more questions. And like Charlie,
absolutely.
Chin high and do it with a smile. Click here to subscribe.
So that's the language. So we've seen Nancy Mace. We've seen now Fox News, which is the most watched cable news channel in the United States, even today. Okay. I got more for you. So in the White House, okay.
Are you struggling in your calculus class?
1 second here.
Do you have a hard time understanding your instructor?
White House, in Congress.
Do you wish there was a simpler way? I get it.
So in Congress yesterday, they were doing a prayer or a moment of silence. A thank you, Meowsword. I will take a look at it so I can watch it right after this. They were doing a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk, and a Republican member of the House. Oh, what is her name? I can't remember her name. Forgive me. But she started yelling at the Democrats that this was their fault, that this is their fault, and they should be held accountable. And they started yelling back and forth. So let's watch that.
Let's wait a minute. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order. We will join prayer right after this, okay? The chair lays before the House a communication. The House will be in order.
So,
thank you all. The House will be in order. The chair lays before the House a communication.
Okay, so that is that. Not good. I'm going to actually watch what Meowsword sent now. So this is Pete Hegseth.
I'd also be remiss if
I haven't seen this. This is Pete Hegseth. Thank you, Meowsword, for sending this. What Pete Hegseth was saying. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. But Jonas, you're speaking my language here. Okay. Yeah, the hatred I have for people that constantly spew BS about a culture war, decades upon decades of trying to pretend the real problems don't lie with capitalism and corrupt leaders. Jonas, 100%, 100%. Okay. So thank you, Cycling Behoy. Thank you for becoming joining me on Twitch. Let's watch here. Hello, Cycling Behoy. Cycling Boy. Let's watch what Pete Higgs says.
I did not acknowledge why that flag is at half staff. We lost an incredible American today. A dear friend of mine. If you knew him, you love him. His name is Charlie Kirk.
That's fair.
Taken by an assassin's bullet. Unfathomable. The only assurance I can take is that I know he is with his Lord and Savior right now. He has heard the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant," as I know many of you will hear. And I didn't quite know what to do after that news with the rest of the day. But
Andrew,
I know what felt fitting
right after this
was to definitely come here and be with all of you. Not media, not anything. Just you don't do this for media. You don't do this for recognition. You do this because you love your countries and your communities in quiet ways that a lot of people don't understand. And so being here with you, with people who give so much, who put their lives at risk, and their families know it, is exactly where I should be and where we should all be.
Demosthenes.
So if you would, bow your head with me and join me in the Lord.
Folks, I am seeing people talk. I thought that they put the flag at half-mast not for 9/11, but for Charlie Kirk. That's what I read yesterday. Maybe today it is for 9/11, but for yesterday it was definitely for Charlie Kirk.
Prayer.
Yeah, right, Meowsword.
Our Father,
obvious.
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
I'm going to go by...
For thine is the kingdom.
He's just doing the
welcome
prayer.
him into your arms.
Okay.
Country, welcome him into your arms. His community and this country, welcome him into. We don't always know what that means, but we know it is. Don't always know what that means.
Sorry, 1 second.
We know your will be done. We don't always know what that means, but we know it is in your hands. And I ask that you watch over all these men and women here who put their lives on the line. Protect them.
I know, right,
Tonight,
Cycling Boy?
Tomorrow night, next week, in the months ahead. Lord God, protect them. And we put them under your shield of protection. It is in your Son, Jesus Christ's name, we pray.
Hey, put your flag at half-mast if you want to acknowledge 9/11. I'm just saying that Trump did it for Charlie, but you can do it for whatever reason you want.
Amen.
We're on a mission to give 2
Jesus
million
Christ.
people
Okay.
all around the world.
Okay, so these are the kind of things we're seeing, folks. All right. And as you all know, right, I love history. I just wanted to, again, when you talk about historical events, they are not one-to-one comparisons with things happening today, but I want to give you some examples in the past of where things similar to this have happened. They're not one-to-one, but just to give you some idea of what we might see. And as many of you know, I studied fascism in grad school. Okay. Hey, Big Fan, what are your views on Trump? Panicker, hello, Panicker. Hey, Big Fan, what are your views on Trump's sudden hatred towards Indians? Because I have experienced it personally, where my brother got excited to go to UMass for his master's, but since then there were no F1 visas. Panicker, I will say it's not particularly Indians that he hates. He seems to hate everyone, that's especially non-white people from elsewhere. He also has a beef with India right now for a number of reasons, mainly because they buy a lot of Russian oil. But he's a racist. I mean, he and his administration are racist. That's 100%. Yeah, I would not be surprised if he was targeting Indian people, but he's targeting people from everywhere, to be honest with you, when it comes to the F1 visas and things like that. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about some history things. I hope this makes sense. So I know this is Wikipedia. I didn't have time to make a slideshow, so I just went to this to kind of as a guide. I did look through it though, and I know what's wrong in it and what's not wrong. So if anyone ever heard of the Reichstag fire, so basically on the 27th of February 1933 in Germany, precisely 4 weeks after Adolf Hitler was sworn in as Chancellor of Germany. Okay. a guy named Marinus von der Lubbe who was a Dutch council communist, was said to be the culprit. It is thought, I know, right? Let's say it is thought that he burned down the Reichstag building, which was Germany's parliament at the time. Here's an image of it burning. Okay, now there are different historical interpretations of this. As London knows, if London is here, historians argue about these things. Some historians say that that he didn't do this and the Nazis made it up. Others say, yeah, he probably did do it. So this is the Reichstag on fire. And after this, folks, again, this is not an assassination, but this empowered Hitler. Okay, Hitler used this as an excuse, and he claimed that the communists were plotting against Germany. And he basically forced the president at the time to issue something called the Reichstag Fire Decree, which made the government suspend civil liberties and pursue a ruthless confrontation with the communists. Okay. This basically is what allowed Hitler to gain unfettered control over the state. He exploited this one incident as an excuse to go after the communists. Okay. He did not have complete power before this. So let me, is that true? Let me see if there was something going on at the DNC. I'll check here real fast. DNC. I don't see it, but let me know if you do see something else here. Okay, anyway, so that would be the Reichstag fire, and this was, okay, again, this is not a one-to-one comparison, but these kind of events, this is why I was so nervous yesterday. When you're living in a fascist dictatorship or a fascist government, events like this can be used to crack down on people, enforce the police state even more. And, so that's one example. All right. Galatia, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay. All right. So, if you guys can send me, Alan, can you send me a link to what you're talking about in Discord? I'll take a look at it. So that is one historical event to think about. All right. And that you've noticed, so a lot of Hitler's language at this time was very similar to the stuff we're seeing from the, thank you. I'll take a look here. A lot of the stuff we're seeing right now with the language coming out of the right wing is similar to the language that the Nazis. Senate staff just got an alert. Capitol Police are responding to an incident at the Democratic National Committee headquarters. Staff are asked to remain clear of police activity. Okay, folks, this is yet to be verified, but we will see what happens. Please, folks, keep me updated. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, this could be a retaliation, which again, we also saw in Nazi Germany. All right. So okay, so that's the Reichstag fire. Okay, let me go to another historical event here. All right. And I'm just trying to explain to you folks why this very much worries me and why we're already seeing some of the same patterns I've seen in my history studies. William McKinley, who was a president of the United States, was assassinated by an anarchist. And he was not a fascist, at least not in the traditional sense of the word. But this gave an excuse for the government to heavily crack down on the left wing in the United States. They started arresting fascists, sometimes just normal American citizens who weren't fascists or who weren't anarchists. Okay. And what you see here is they also, and by the way, the guy who actually shot William McKinley, I can't pronounce his name. Forgive me. Sosolgos. He had been suffering because he didn't have a job. He had lost his job during an economic crisis. That radicalized him. Right? Do we see the familiars here? So again, yeah. Okay. And so what we ended up seeing because of this is they actually passed a law. I'm trying to find here the name of the law. Okay, I can't remember off the top of my head. The name of the law was. Oh yeah, so. Yep. So then, by the way, anarchist colonies and newspapers were then attacked by vigilantes because of the government's spieling of stochastic terroristic language. Maybe that's what's happening with the DNC right now. We don't know yet. So there's that. Again, anti-anarchist laws were passed in the wake of the assassination, which were massively used during World War I to deport people, even if they were just speaking their minds. Okay. And among those deported was Emma Goldman. Yeah, I know. Big Brain, he's not talked about much in history. William McKinley. By the way, he's Trump's favorite president, apparently. So, yeah. Okay. So we got, so that was another event here. And again, we saw massive backlash. Now, obviously, Charlie Kirk is not a president. This is not a one-to-one comparison. But that was another event. It's another event. Okay. Another event here that is not like the other ones, but I showed you a video of Congress. Okay, if anyone here has ever heard, if anyone here, Galatia, how do you feel about Erdogan? I am curious of your thoughts on that. I don't like him, but okay. Caning of Charles Sumner. All right. So we saw in Congress all this conflict breaking out right before the Civil War in the United States, the bloodiest war in American history, where over 600,000 Americans died slaughtering each other over slavery. Okay. There was something called the caning of Charles Sumner, where there was a representative in Congress named Charles Sumner, who gave a very a pretty badass, in my opinion, speech bashing the pro-slavery people on the other side of the aisle. He said, he basically, he called some of the slave-owning congressmen harlots and things like that. And the response to this was that one of the people, the pro-slavery people on the other side, picked up his cane and then went over and just started beating the hell out of Charles Sumner on the floor of the Senate. And the Southern senators were crying out with joy as this was happening. This became a massive news story, and it really, really, really divided the country even more, brought us closer to civil war. Okay. And you're seeing more and more language between lawmakers like Democrats and Republicans, as we saw with Nancy Mace, as we saw in Congress, of them openly despising each other and hating each other. And they haven't resorted to violence, but this is very problematic. Okay. Okay, excellent, Galatia. I'm glad. Okay, I know Galatia. By the way, Turkish food is amazing. Just saying. Okay, yeah. So this was called. I'm going to show you an image here. This is a famous image. This was a propaganda image used by anti-slavery people, but it's still super important. You see here the pro-slavery guy with his cane beating up Charles Sumner, and it says at the bottom, "Southern chivalry." An argument versus clubs. This is criticizing him, saying, yeah, because he couldn't make a rational argument, Charles Sumner. This guy beat up Charles Sumner. So again, this is why I'm concerned. Okay, I just want to make that clear. This is why and again, historical events aren't one-to-one. Every historical event is different, but there are some trends you could notice. Okay. So please just be aware of this stuff. I am deeply concerned. Okay. And you're right, Big Brain. The wounds from the Civil War have never healed. And we're seeing increasing balkanization. Was it Fox Emblem who said that in chat? So I understand. Okay. So these are all events that I think about when I hear about things like this happening. So again, just something to be aware of. We don't know if this stuff will happen, but they're bad signs. Let's put it that way. And there are other examples, by the way. I'm not giving you all of them. I'm just trying to limit it to a few so that to kind of give you a sampling. Okay. All right. So let me go back to my phase here. Looks like there's a lot of good chats here. Let me just see what we got. Again, folks. Yeah, Reconstruction did not go well at all. Well, we'll be in big shit, people, if Democrats and Republicans in Congress actually start getting into physical altercations, that'll be very bad. I don't know if that'll happen, but it is, something to keep an eye out for. So we have already seen in Texas, by the way, the Republicans trying to use authoritarian tactics to prevent Democratic lawmakers from doing things. Yeah, I agree, Joshua. We were too lenient on the South, 100%. Okay. And unfortunately, Lincoln died before that could be dealt with fully. Okay. Let me read these chats again, folks. If you send me a super chat for little as $2, I already have 4 of my nails painted. If you send me one, you can decide what the next color is, and I will finish up this hand. And then if we get 5 more after that, I'll finish the other hand. And if we get 10, okay, if we get to the 10, I'll stream for 30 more minutes. I'll probably stream for about 2.5 hours or so, or 2 hours or so, and then I'll go for 30 more minutes. If we do get to 10. Okay. Yeah, John Wilkes Booth, sorest loser in history. Absolutely, Big Braden. Loser. The South were a bunch of losers. And by the way, I can hear Chainbreaker back there laughing. And if you know what Chainbreaker is, you get that joke. Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, DV8, welcome. So, all right. Okay. So, let me see here what we got in chat. All right. I'm literally terrified. Pizza. I'm afraid. I am nervous. Okay. Don't fall into terror yet. It can be paralyzing. I know it might be. Okay. Update on the DNC scenario. Okay. Let me take a look here. Is this in chat? Or did you guys put it in? Folks, where did you put it in there? I might be blind here. Did you put it in reactions? Is that where it is? Yeah, it looks like it's in reactions. Let me see. Oh shit. Okay. Yep. So we again, no details here, folks, but this was just posted. I'll put it up on my screen. Here, this was sent out. A message was sent to all Senate email account holders. Police activity, Democratic National Headquarters, National Committees. Capitol Police responding to an incident at the Democratic National Committee headquarters. Staff are asked to remain clear of the police activity. More updates are forthcoming as the situation evolves. I'm going to see, folks, if I can find this. We don't know what this is. It could be a small thing. We don't know, but let's. So don't panic. But let me just see. I mean, not that you guys would panic anyway, but let me see here what I'm going to see if I can do a little search here, folks. Okay. Face screen here. Let me do a little search here while we're sitting here. Thank you guys for helping me out in the Discord here, folks. By the way, if you want to join our Discord, we have a great community on there, and you can also assist with the streams and such, and post things that you would like to me to react to. I'm just looking around here, folks. It could be a threat. Yeah, no details have been. It could just be a threat. We don't know. No details have been released apparently so far. Retaliations are very common. Is that so, Alan W? Okay. A few HBCUs received threats today and had to cancel classes too. Yep, I have no doubt. This is stochastic terrorism, people. When you start demonizing a group, especially without evidence or whatever, you'll have there will be people out there who act on it. Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything about it. But we'll hope maybe it'll update soon, though. Yeah. Missional details were not made available here. Yeah, we don't have any details yet. We'll see what happens here, folks. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So again, something else to keep an eye on. Come on, folks. Not my OC. I don't have ODH. I don't have ADHD. I mean, I'm sorry, I do have ADHD. I don't have OCD, but I really want to paint this last fingernail. Please, someone, just $2. Okay, I promise it's not just for the money. But I just really want to paint this last nail. Okay. Anyway, all right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, yep, you're right, Galatia. You're right. There were actual black shirts. I'd have to look into that, Galatia. I did hear about it. I haven't looked into it much, but I believe it. We could do that, Radon. We could do that as a limit here. Okay, so guys, that is sort of the main stuff I wanted to talk about. As these things are updating. Yep. Oh yeah. Thank you, Joshua. Yeah, folks. Again, still no talk about common sense gun laws. Right. There was also a school shooting yesterday. I mean, what are we going to? Thank you, Demosthenes. Thank you so much. My choice. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for the super chat, Demosthenes. Okay. So we also don't know, still no talk about guns. Okay. It is insane, folks. It is insane for those who aren't living in America. Oh, thank you, Malzor. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, okay. I guess wow, we're getting closer now. We get 4 more. I will be streaming for 30 more minutes. I will, thank you. I will choose the colors. Thank you, Alyssa. Okay. Yeah, still no talk about gun reform. Nothing like that. We apparently in this country, we love our citizens getting slaughtered every day. We love children getting slaughtered in classrooms. For those in the chat that aren't from the United States, I'm sure you're wondering why we're all insane over here and we are okay with all the slaughter that's always happening because of guns. And all the weird cultural things that go along with it, like children playing with toy guns and things like that. Yep, we're insane. I don't know what else to say. At this point, it's insane. Okay. All right. Say acetaminophen in RFK Jr. Acetaminophen. I can't do it very well. I don't know. That probably sounded more like what's her face, Janine Pirro. But okay. Thank you, guys. All right. So yep, no gun law things. Of course, the right wing will never make it about guns. It's about radical transgender people or whatever the hell they want to write it as. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about something else now, folks. I mean, we'll still talk about this. But sorry, let me just do my nail real fast now. All right. There we go. Ooh, got too much on that one. Okay. Those are some historical events that are sort of relevant to what is going on here. Didn't she recently say they wouldn't enforce rules on long gun open carrying? I think she did, as I recall. I didn't look into it too much, but that is some of the language I've seen coming out of the right wing. Okay. Okay. So what else do I got for all of you? I need to paint a couple more nails here. First, let me find something for us to watch. Okay. So we have all that crap going on. And another thing trying to find here. Okay. Also, I should point out that most of the shootings in this country are done by right-wing terrorists, obviously, but no one will ever mention that. Okay. Where did I find this thing here? Give me a second here. All right. Let me see. I'm just trying to see, folks, if there's any news about that new thing here. I know I'm kind of in a pause right now. I want to make sure we can catch this. Yeah. Okay. Live DNC. I'm going to make sure we're not missing something important happening. Okay. Still no updates or anything. Okay. All right. All right. So folks, then if that's the case, let's just talk a little bit about 9/11. We will still talk about this other stuff as new stuff comes in. Oh, something else, folks. Something else I did want to talk about. The shooting that happened. Okay. Let me show you a video here.
The kickoff for Charlie Kirk's 14-city tour.
Let me show this. Let me put it on screen here so you all can see it. Okay, so this is something else I did want to talk about. It is not easy to it is not easy to make a shot at that range. Yeah, absolutely, McGarry. We can't forget the Epstein folks either, which have just been forgotten. So I want to show you this video here. I don't know if this will have exactly what I want, but hopefully they'll show.
Here in Orem, Utah, about 40 miles away from Salt Lake City at Utah Valley University.
Okay. So
thousands of people.
Something I was considering, okay? And this is not, I'm not an expert on this at all, okay? I know a little bit about weaponry and things like that, just because I had to as a historian. But to make a shot from, 200 to 400 meters is not easy. It also means that you would have to have pre-sighted the gun probably beforehand and make sure you'd have to make sure that you had the accuracy set up, etc. Okay. It does make me think that this person may have been some sort of professional. They may not have been, but it's just interesting. Is that true, Robert McGarry? Okay. Then never mind, Robert McGarry. I could be wrong. It's mediocre. But alas, it also is not necessarily easy to kill someone with one shot accurately from a distance. Okay, well then never mind, folks. As you can tell, I've never shot a gun, but I will say though, when you have a target that might be moving around a bit, it can be difficult. But I see what you're saying. Okay, maybe it's not as hard as I thought it would be. So maybe I should retract that. But let's just watch this real fast. Okay.
Students were gathering in a large open courtyard.
When you're prone, that makes sense.
Video from Kirk's own X account shows an open space and a barrier between the tent and the students, with multiple security guards standing at the fence line. Police say there were 6 campus police officers there as well.
A lot of people, Utah, tell you what.
Kirk was a rock star among young conservatives, largely because of events like this, meeting college students up close on campuses across the country. Police say roughly 3,000 people showed up for this.
Yeah, and Matt Saigai, that was something else too. I don't want to get too gory here, but where the bullet hit was it may have been accidentally a quote unquote kill shot, but it was not easy to hit that spot.
All watching and listening as it happened. Kirk was answering a question about mass shootings.
Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
It's 5. Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been?
They're not going to show it, but
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Okay.
Kirk is rushed into an SUV and taken to the hospital. Panic crowds ran as police jumped in.
And let's be advised, UVU in Orem has had an active shooter at the Charlie Kirk event. We're getting several calls. We're trying to get more information.
In the scramble after Kirk was shot, video taken from inside a building captures what appears to be someone running across a rooftop. That rooftop is this building, called the Losi Center, less than 200 yards away from the spot where Kirk was
Less
hit.
than 200 yards, so maybe it wasn't as far as I thought.
He would have been positioned about here. From this shot, you can see the rooftop of the Losi building is pretty easy to access. It's connected to another building by an elevated walkway, which, as you can see, is only separated from the roof by a railing.
Yeah.
Aerial footage after the shooting shows police tape on the roof of the Losi building. And at about 12:36 p.m., an officer describes a possible suspect.
He's wearing jeans, black shirt, black mask, long rifle. Is on top of the building on the far north side, just east of the library, wearing jeans, black shirt, black vest.
6 hours later, Utah Valley University issued an all clear, saying the threat is over. Charlie Kirk, the 31
that is my concern too, Big Braden. So, folks, you have to understand, like, all the time it's taking to find this person, they're escaping. Like, it'll be very hard. It's getting harder and harder by the minute to actually find the person. I know the FBI today released actually images of the person to get people to assist them in finding them, but
1-year-old
yeah.
father of 2 young children did not survive.
A critical development in the manhunt for the assassin who gunned down
Okay. All right. So I just wanted to show that to you. I know, right, Cycling Boy? It is shocking. It is bizarre that this person was able to get away. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. There was lots of chaos on the campus and stuff, but it's very interesting. Which made me think, and again, folks, this is completely speculation. All right. Completely speculation on my part. Do not trust me on this. This is just some speculation on my end. I'm not an expert on this at all. But how this person did stuff, it seems like they're pretty skilled at it. But again, I am not an expert. That is just my what is it term? My layperson's view of this. Okay. Listen to me on history and sometimes politics, but maybe not over something like this. Okay. But anyway, okay. So just something to think about. All right. So folks, today is 9/11. Again, I'm going to try to stay updated on what's going on with the Charlie Kirk situation. I wanted to talk just a little bit about 9/11, just because it is 9/11. I just wanted to tell everyone. So for who here in chat, I'm going to yeah, right, Alyssa. So okay, I'm going to post in chat here. I'm curious who in chat remembers where they were when they found out about the Twin Towers. This isn't going to be like a patriotic bleed red, white, and blue segment. I just wanted to, as a historical thing, I am curious. JMac, hello, JMac. Welcome, JMac. Glad to see you here. They were, and if you weren't alive, folks, if you weren't born yet, then just put no. Okay. Okay. Oh. Who remembers? And where they were on 9/11. Okay. Okay. So I just started the poll. Feel free to answer it. And again, if you were, if you weren't born at the time, put no. Okay. What year? Okay. Yeah, I was already at 2001. Okay. Okay. It is. I see most people are saying no so far. Well, okay. Some more people saying yes, no, yes, no. Okay. So, all right. Yep. Okay. I'm seeing more people answer the question. Thank you all. Okay. So most of you so far have said yes. Yeah. Okay. It was quite a shock to me when I was teaching, when you started getting to generations who weren't alive during 9/11, because it was such a defining event for, I know, a lot of us. Like, okay, well, only 57% say yes. Okay, for the old folks in chat, and I'm including myself, think about that. Okay, how there's so many people alive today who didn't go through that day. Okay, and I remember most people I talk to about this do specifically remember what they were doing when they found out, where they were, and what happened, because it was kind of a traumatizing event. And I can tell you all what was happening with me. I think I was in 6th grade or something like that. And the principal comes into our classroom and pulls out our teacher and tells our teacher something in the hallway. And she then comes back in and she's crying. And she asks all of us to get up and go to the gym So we're all file into the hallway. We start walking to the gym, and as we're going by the teacher's lounge, there was a TV set up in the teacher's lounge, and there were a bunch of teachers packed in there, and they were watching the screen. And I remember while I was walking by, and we could tell something had happened because the adults were clearly distressed. I look at the TV screen, and the first image I saw was someone, for the sake of TOS, I'm going to say, coming out of those towers. Okay, falling out of those towers. I have that image emblazed in my head. Okay. And they brought us into the gym, and a bunch of teachers or parents started showing up to the school, trying to take their kids out of school because they were worried that the schools were going to be attacked next. Okay. It had a massive effect on the American psyche. Okay. Regardless what we say about it historically, it had a massive effect on the American psyche. A lot of the stuff that still impacts us today is still it still majorly impacts us today. Okay, it really does. It was a historical turning point in a lot of ways. Yep. Oh, absolutely, Macon. I was similar, right? When I saw that. Yeah. Okay. My family being so anti-use, one of my mother's cousins said, "Look, who isn't untouchable after all?" It's a pretty common viewpoint here. Yeah, Galatia, and I can understand. Like, I understand that perspective in some ways. Like, I get it. But like, I am not pro-American empire, okay, at all. But regardless, for example, of how we view it. Hello, Charlotte Eva. Yeah, regardless of how it was viewed and things like that, it had a massive effect. And it really changed a lot of things. It led to the war in Afghanistan. It led to the war in Iraq. It led to the Patriot Act, which allowed the government to warrantlessly wiretap American citizens. Bush was a monster, by the way, and he was a war criminal. It led to the death of hundreds of thousands of civilians in Middle Eastern countries. It led to war crimes. It led to torture, which the Bush administration, in an Orwellian way, called enhanced interrogation methods in an act of PR. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, it was a massive event. The TSA, thank you. I think it was that Robert who said that. Folks, you don't understand. Before 9/11, there wasn't much airport security, and now there's a lot of it. Okay, and it's an unpleasant process. It's very unpleasant to go through. Muslims, okay. One of the worst things about all this is that there were a lot of innocent Muslim people in the United States targeted with hate crimes after 9/11. There was even a taxi cab driver in New York City who was actually a Sikh, wasn't even Muslim, and someone murdered him because he thought he was Muslim. It was a very big event. Okay. I know if Long Beach Dragon was here, I know Long Beach Dragon actually was in New York at the time or something. Okay. Yeah, and it's so weird to me as a 35-year-old that it was such a defining event that there's so many people in chat here that are saying that they didn't, that they weren't even alive, don't remember it. But yeah, because yeah. Okay. You were finishing work at lunchtime. Yep. Senior year. See, everyone here knows, right? Everyone here knows what they were doing. I have found that. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Macy Schroeder, about the movie. Yeah, Alyssa, you're right. There was I'm gonna see if I can find it real fast. There were heroes on that day, okay? There was the guy on the plane who called his wife. There were 3 planes. Sorry, 4 planes. One hit World Trade Center 1, one hit World Trade Center 2, another one hit the Pentagon, and the fourth one went down in a field in Pennsylvania. And the one that went down in the field of Pennsylvania went down because the people on that flight actually fought back. And let me just real fast here. I'm going to see if I can find the recording. It's heartbreaking. But he called his wife before he began to fight back. And Okay, here we go.
When I took the call over, there was a soft-spoken, calm gentleman on the other end. He told me that he said, "Lisa, would you recite?"
I guess it wasn't his.
And when he told the guys,
okay, you know what? I want to actually find the actual recording here. He may have called someone else. Yeah, J1, I absolutely will. We actually already talked about Nepal. I have not yet talked about France, but I do know there's a lot going over on France right now. Let's see if I can find this, folks. Might not be able to. I don't know why I can't find it.
If I don't make it, please call me United their passenger in time.
Okay, so all right. So okay, here we go. Thank you, Brian Sweeney. Thank you. Go Bills. Okay, guys. So let me. I'm gonna make sure you can actually hear this.
40 people on Tells.
Spoken. He was from, because I hope that about the men, and they did, because let's roll.
And would you please help me welcome his wife, Lisa Beamer, here tonight?
Forgive me. Okay. Can you all hear that?
United 93, that traffic for you is 1 o'clock, 12 miles eastbound 370. Negative contact, we're looking United 93.
Okay.
Somebody call Cleveland.
I think this is the right one. It might not be.
United 93, verify your flight level 350. United 93, verify your level of 350. United 93, Cleveland. United 93, Cleveland.
So this might not be it. This is the air traffic controllers trying to feel like.
1523, did you hear your company? American 10-6. 9 or through. Activity. Negative. Smoke puff now to about cloud.
Okay, yeah, that's not the right one, but there's tons of recording from that day. I wish I could find it. I thought it would be easy find here. Let's roll recording. Forgive me,
when I took
folks.
the call over, and then
it might be that there isn't a recording.
Dashed. Instead, and all aware of what awaited him below. He rallied other passengers to stand up.
Okay, here we go.
Are you there?
Here we go.
Jack, pick up, sweetie. Okay, well, I just
Yes,
wanted to tell you
Meowsword, it is
I love you.
fantastic.
We're having a little problem on the plane.
We could actually maybe watch
I'm
it.
totally fine.
So these are some. I'm not trying to make anyone here too depressed here, but these are some of the calls.
You know, I'm comfortable and I'm okay for now. Just a little problem, so I just love you.
Yeah, it's very sad,
my
Louise.
family, I love them too.
Okay.
Bye, honey.
Elsa, it's Lynn. I only have a minute. I'm on United 93, and it's been hijacked by terrorists.
It gives me chills.
Apparently, they have flown a couple of planes into the World
I'm letting
Trade
it play,
Center
Macy.
already, and it looks like they're going to take this one down as well. Mostly, I just
I'm just gonna let you guys listen.
And I'm going to miss you. And these people I love so much. And mostly, I just love you, and I just wanted to tell you that. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to tell you that again or not.
Hi, baby. Baby, you have to listen to me carefully. I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. I'm on the plane. I'm calling from the plane. I want to tell you I love you. Please tell my children that I love them very much. And I'm so sorry, babe. I don't know what to say. There's 3 guys. They've hijacked the plane. I'm trying to be calm. We're turned around, and I've heard that there's planes that's been flown into the World Trade Center. I hope to be able to see your face again, baby. I love you. Bye.
Also,
there
the
was
bravery.
a soft-spoken, calm gentleman on the other end.
I guess
he
we don't have a
told me
recording of
that
it.
there's 3 people that have taken over the flight. At that point, I asked him his name. He told me Todd Beamer. He was from Cranberry, New Jersey.
Was your sense then that he knew that?
Yes, I did. I felt that he knew at that time because he had said, "Oh, Jesus, help us." And then he said, "Lisa, would you recite the Lord's Prayer with me?" And I knew that he knew at that time that it wasn't much left for him to do.
Lisa, do me a favor.
Of course.
Say the Lord's Prayer with me.
Right now, Todd?
It's just a reenactment, but this one is.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us.
Lead us not into temptation,
But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom,
the power, and the glory, forever and ever.
Amen.
Amen.
You ready? Okay.
They're all heroes in my eyes. They really are. They all pitched together, and they did what they thought was the best thing to do at that time. And I feel that Todd played a great role in that, because when he told the guys, "Are you ready?" I assumed that they were waiting on his cue. Then they responded to him, and he said, "Okay, let's roll."
Okay. So the bravery there, folks, really cannot be understated. I mean, obviously.
It is forecast, though, to continue to turn.
Thank you for sending this to me, Malzord. This day, like I said, was very traumatic and had wide-ranging consequences that still affect us today. Okay. A lot, by the way, a lot of the power that the presidency has, the president under Bush kind of consolidated a lot more power because of this, and got us engaged in 2 wars, one which only just recently ended, destabilized multiple countries, resulted in the illegal detainment of thousands of people, the torture of tons of people, and the death of all these innocent people. By the way, there were many Muslims in those 2 towers who also died. This is not an issue of Islam, okay? So just something I want everyone to be aware of historically, that this did in fact happen, and it had a major effect on us. And today is 9/11. So it also should be pointed out, folks, that Osama bin Laden was in fact a monster. Okay, I'm not gonna. There was a while back, I think it was on social media, someone was sending around his letter to America, and yeah, it contained a lot of basically true statements about America, but he's not a friend. Okay, he's not a friend. He was a Saudi billionaire. Okay, yeah, really unpleasant guy, obviously. But also it should be noted that his anger came from actions that the American government had taken, and then he took it out on American citizens who had nothing to do with that. Yeah, okay. So a criminal, horrible human being. And this also began the war on terror, which resulted in bombing of tons of other countries, oftentimes illegally. Again, this was a massive event. Still feeling the consequences of it today. Okay. All right. I want to. There is a video here. I'm going to try and just find parts of it here. Thank you, Malzord. I've seen this before, Malzord, but this actually, if you want to watch the whole thing, it's 4 hours long, so we're not going to watch the whole thing. This is a live stream. This is a 4-hour live stream of all the news channels on 9/11. Okay, and what ended up happening. So you can see. I'll show you here if you ever want to watch it. You can see
at least you're going to be wearing, maybe the most pregnant of us. Morning, Gail.
Morning, Carol. I'll tell you, this is the biggest media crush I've seen so far, and it's all over maternity wear. I'm backstage at the Liz Lang maternity show, and it's rock and roll back here. We have media from all over the
Yep, it is. Correct.
American Airlines emergency line. Please state your emergency.
Hey, this is Nitty at American Airlines.
You can see here on the right, I'm going to make my face a little smaller so you can see what I'm talking about. For those who weren't alive on the day, who weren't around during the day, I know a lot of the folks who were alive on this, you may know all this. Yeah, so you can see up here on the right, they actually, you know what, I'm going to also, I'm going to just I'm going to move the chat over here so you can see this better. Okay, up here at the top, you can actually track. Correct, Mithril. It did give Israel a ton of excuses to commit tons of atrocities as well with America's backing. Up here on the right, you can see that where the planes are.
I am monitoring a call in which Flight 11, the flight attendant is advising our reps that the pilot, everyone's been stabbed.
Flight 11?
Yep. They can't get into the cockpit, is what I'm hearing.
You can see here, this is, if you see my...
Excuse me, this is Nitty American Airlines at the Raleigh Reservation Center. I'm the operations specialist on duty.
If you can see my...
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Nydia.
My cursor here.
Gonzalez,
This is Flight 11, heading into New York City, which is where this woman is calling from.
Flight attendant on the line with one of our agents.
Okay. And she's calling how?
Through reservation. I can go in on the line and ask the flight attendant questions.
Okay. I'm assuming they've declared an emergency. Let me get ATC on here. Stand by.
Gotten any contact with anybody? Okay, I'm still on with security, okay, Betty? You're doing a great job. Just stay calm, okay? We are, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, we're contacting the flight crew now. We're also contacting ATC.
Okay.
Anything else from this flight attendant?
So far what I've got, the number 5 flight attendant's been stabbed, but she seems to be breathing. The number 1 seems to be stabbed pretty badly. And what's going on?
I'm going to move forward a little bit here.
Okay, the aircraft is erratic again.
So,
very erratically.
I'm just a content warning here. I suspect you're going to see one of the towers get hit. Yeah, David Leibowitz, this is 9/11 footage. You're probably going to see one of the towers get hit. Just a content warning, okay?
She did say that all the first-class passengers have been moved back to coach. So first class, the cabin is empty. What's going on your end, Kirk?
We contacted air traffic control. They are going to handle this as a confirmed hijacking, so they're moving all the traffic out of this aircraft's way.
Okay.
So they're right now, all the air traffic controllers are trying to figure out what's going on. They know that a plane has been hijacked. They're still trying to figure out, what's going on, etc.
They're off, so we don't have a definitive altitude for them. We're just going by, they seem to think that they have him on a primary radar. They seem to think that he is descending.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Lydia?
Yes, dear, I'm here.
By the way, folks, for those that were alive during this, one of the great things about history is that with time, there's more documents that come out, there's more information. So you may not have ever even heard a lot of these primary sources, okay?
Okay. I have the dispatcher currently taking the current fuel on board, and we're going to run some profiles.
Okay.
To see exactly what his endurance is.
Okay. She doesn't have an idea who the other passenger might
Hello,
be.
James.
Apparently, they might have spread something, so it's
Okay, now watch. So in this up, you can see an image up here. This is the first video. There was a French photographer who was embedded with the firefighters. Okay. Oh, thank you, David. Yeah, thank you. I do speak German. So yeah. Okay. So if you see here, it was a French photographer who was embedded in doing a documentary with this firefighter crew in New York City. Just happened to be doing a documentary when this happened, and he captured this on footage. By the way, he made an entire documentary out of it called 9/11. And he actually goes into the two towers with the firefighters, okay, as they're trying to save people. It is a pretty disturbing documentary, but you can find it. Um, uh, in its Americanized way, it's pronounced W, not V. Yeah, right. Okay, so so you can see up here. This is the first image that was of one of the towers getting hit. I know it might be kind of small on the screen, but just watch.
Hard time breathing or getting in that area. What's going on, Betty?
Battalion 1 to Manhattan. Battalion 1. We just had a plane crash into Alpha 4 of the World Trade Center, transmit a second alarm, and start relocating companies into the area.
Okay, so we'll stay open. I think we might have lost her.
Okay.
When it comes to lending and leasing to businesses and consumers, CIT stands apart.
So, okay, obviously that's just an ad that's running there now, but that was the first one getting hit. And then a little bit later, there was a second hit. So I'm going to go there.
Is he descending for the building also? He's descending really quick too, yeah.
So they're already noticing another plane approaching.
Dropped 800 feet in like one.
So Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda's plan here, the hope was that they would hit the tower and then the floors above that would hit would collapse. All right. Obviously, it was, if you want to phrase it this way, more successful than they could imagine, but they were not expecting the whole thing to fall. They thought that if they hit it right there, it would cause at least the floors above it to collapse. And by the way, folks, this wasn't the first time Al-Qaeda had tried to destroy the two towers. They had also put a bomb in the basement. Move chat over. Okay. Move chat over. Let me see. Oh, you're right. Thank you, Alyssa. You know what? I'm going to just disable the chat on the screen for a moment so that you all can see this. Okay. Thank you, Alyssa. So let's finish this here. You'll see here, this will be the second the second plane.
That's another situation.
You say that emergency vehicles are there, understandably so, but of course the major concern is human loss. I mean, do you know if there were many people in the building?
Another one just hit. Something else just hit. A very large plane just flew directly over my building.
You have a second plane into the other tower? Another one just hit the building. Wow. Another one just hit it hard. Another one just hit the World Trade.
We just saw a plane circling the building a second ago on the shot right before that.
I think there may have been another impact. Can you tell? I just heard another very loud bang, and a very large plane that might have been a DC-9 or a 747 just flew past my window. And
the second one just hit the Trade Center.
Okay. Yeah, we got to alert the military real quick on this.
It has now impacted the building. I'm trying to see if it's the different tower.
I think it may have been. I believe the first one was World Trade Center 1, and it looks,
and
from what I'm seeing on the television, like it may have been the second building.
This is a piece of tape.
I'm not right, Meowzord,
We may actually see another plane enter the picture here in a second.
I wonder if there are air traffic control problems.
Let's.
Tony, we're going to stop everybody. We're going to shut this.
You can see here in this image on the left here, folks, that there were so many office buildings inside this building that there was paper flying everywhere, and also ash flying into the sky. I know, Alyssa. I know. It's especially for those that were alive here. Like, I'm getting chills just looking at it because it was a pretty traumatizing event. And you got to understand, folks, when until the second plane hit, a lot of people still thought this might have just been an accident. Like, maybe this plane accidentally hit this tower, but then the second one hits and it became very clear very quickly. As a matter of fact, I know someone who had a teacher, a very good teacher, and after the second plane hit, this teacher turned to her class and said, "Oh, Osama bin Laden," because it was already well known that that was a threat, okay, or someone who may want to do this. So.
Shut Boston down. I suggest the same elsewhere.
This happened, Jennifer?
Alyssa, you're right.
I've never seen any. It looks like a movie. I saw a large plane, like a jet.
Look at on the right. You can see all the papers flying.
It just flew into the other tower, coming from south to north. I watched
You're right, Macy.
Into the World Trade Center. It was
oh
a
my
jet.
God.
It was a very large plane. It was going fast. It went past the Ritz-Carlton Hotel that's being built in Battery Park. It flew right past it, almost hit it, and then went in.
This is so shocking, of course, to everybody watching.
I've never seen anything like it. It literally flew itself into World Trade Center.
Obviously now we move from what appears to have, there it is right there.
Again, I'm looking from south to north, and it went into the one on the right.
That appeared to be at least a 727. We saw it a second ago. Here comes the videotape that we just showed you. You will see what appears to be a large plane. It could be a 727 right there. Maybe.
It looks like the World Trade Center is on fire.
Yes, it's a Boeing 757. We think just flew into the building.
Okay. So you can see people trying to kind of come to terms with what they're seeing here.
No, I'm not kidding.
And there are now 2 planes left. Okay. The first 2 planes obviously hit the 2 towers. Oh, I know, right, Alyssa? Yeah, and by the way, Big Braden, Canada became a very close ally. I mean, they already were, but during this event, because there were a lot of Americans stranded in Canada on flights and things like that, and a lot of people, like the Canadian government, was really helpful in caring for these people that were now stuck in Canada. It brought a lot of people together. Okay, and I'm not trying to be rah 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 America here, but yeah, there was a shared sense of humanity and a shared sense of fear. Absolutely, a shared sense of fear. And that actually ended up having very bad consequences. But there was a united country, or a united, people all over the place, witnessing this horror and experiencing the empathy that comes with seeing other people's humanity. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So the third plane has now been hijacked. So American Airlines 77 and is now heading back towards DC. By the way, folks, the plane in Pennsylvania and the plane that ended up hitting the Pentagon were originally going to hit Congress and the White House. They didn't, but that may have been even more disastrous. I know, right, Big Braden? I know.
Yes.
What's happened here? We're going to immediately check with air traffic control in the area to find out if they had contact with either of these planes before the accident. But what we've just seen is about
also,
the most
folks, please like the stream if you haven't already. It'll just help get more people in here.
Elliot, are you still there?
Hello?
Elliot?
Yes, I'm still here, Katie.
So, Elliot, what can you see right now from your perspective?
I don't face in that direction. I can't see anything personally.
It is completely impossible to understand why this is.
By the way, folks, before we keep watching this, we're not gonna go through all this. I just want to get to the Pentagon and then the other plane crashing. This looks like we're getting pretty close at this point. Also the collapse would be another thing I'd like to get to. Okay, because the 2 towers ended up collapsing. Okay.
Formally, but obviously people are seeing.
So one other thing here, Toast. There are a lot, and folks, I'm saying this as a historian, okay, but there are a lot of conspiracy theories out there that say that it was an inside job, and things like that. There is no evidence of that. I should put it this way: there's no substantial evidence of that. The evidence overwhelmingly is that it was done by Al Qaeda and it was done by Osama bin Laden. And honestly, I think some of the conspiracy theories really cover up America's complicity in some of our actions that may have partially led to this. Again, I'm not blaming Americans for this, but again, there is not significant evidence that it was an inside job. Conspiracy theories do typically pop up after major events like this. It's a way of people to cope with horrific things they've seen. But again, who knows what'll come out in the future. But as of right now, there's not significant evidence that this was an inside job or any sort of conspiracy, apart from being a conspiracy of Al Qaeda and Osama bin Laden. Yeah. Oh, is that so? Meowzord, okay.
What's going on, and some people are leaving buildings as well simply because of the concern following these.
Yeah, something else, folks. I will skip it if I see it's going to happen. But there were people jumping out of the buildings. That was, like I said, that was the first thing I saw when I was a child. Was someone jumping out of a building because if you have a fire raging behind you, you can make a decision. And those horrifying images were all over the news at the time. People watching it live. There's a famous image of 2 people holding hands and doing it. That later became a statue. I believe it's in New York City today. of these two people comforting each other in their final moments. Again, I'm going to get emotional here, but yeah.
Reports from the Pentagon.
All right, Jamie, thank you very much. Again, joined by Tom Brokaw, and Katie's back with us now, too. Let's try and recap. It's 9:47 Eastern Time. Try and recap what's going on so far this morning, and the news is terrible. Just before 9 o'clock.
At 8:42, actually.
8:42, a plane crashed into the right-hand tower of the World Trade Center, somewhat about 3/4 of the way up. You can see the smoke billowing from that point of the building. And then about 18 or 20 minutes later, a second plane, a large plane, we saw it actually on tape, hit the left-hand tower of the World Trade Center about halfway up. An enormous fireball.
So I'm going to go forward a little bit here, folks.
But there hasn't been one specific incident.
And the Israelis vacated that meeting as well.
And the Israelis vacated it as well, but there has
coming in now. New York City police officer.
By the way, at this point, folks, the Pentagon has already been hit. I don't think the news has reported on it yet, though. Maybe I may have missed it, but they will eventually show it. But right now, the Pentagon hasn't been reported on, but the Pentagon has already been hit by another plane.
Officers have locked this place down with wooden barricades. More coming in on trucks right now. I'm watching lit flares get put in.
Yeah, I'm going to go forward here. Oh, there it is. Okay. So,
stunning shock. The FBI Special Operations Center is now in full alert.
So watch. And there goes Tower 2. It collapsed. You're right, Big Brain.
One of the buildings is partially collapsed.
Hey, what do we have? We don't.
It looks like a new plume, a new large plume of smoke.
C3, a major collapse in one of the towers.
Off the building. It may be that something has fallen. We don't know, to be perfectly honest.
Seen behind us of this second tower, now just encased in smoke. What is behind it? I cannot tell you. But just look at that. That is about as frightening a scene as you will ever see. Again.
Command post from Tower 1. To all units. Evacuate the building. Command post to all units.
Fires at the Pentagon evacuated. The State Department evacuated. The
Tower 2 has had a major explosion and what appears to be a complete collapse surrounding the entire area.
As a credible terrorist threat, we have 2 explosions, 2 planes hitting the World Trade Center here in New York.
Right,
and what
DVA.
this second explosion was that took place about...
Okay, so that was the first tower collapsing. I mean, the second tower collapsing. So the second one hit was the first one to collapse. The first one collapses quite a bit later. More people were saved from the Tower 1 than Tower 2, obviously. Again, I'm not going to go through the whole thing here. I want to see if they are talking about the Pentagon. By the way, it was only very recently that Congress authorized paying funds to help the first responders who had gotten who had inhaled all of that dust and debris, and some of them developed like cancer and other things because of it. And Congress, mainly because of Republicans, blocked any kind of aid for them, any kind of aid. And it was only very recently that they did get through the aid because of Jon Stewart, literally because of Jon Stewart. It is rare that one person can make a huge change, but Jon Stewart majorly lobbied to get these people the help they needed, and it worked. He basically browbeat Congress and guilted them into doing it, and finally gave them the medical care they need. Okay, odious botch, thank you. So apparently there was a bomb threat in D.C., but no bomb. Okay.
Did you scramble airplanes for that Delta 8 in 1989?
We did, out of Selfridge and Toledo, sir.
You're right,
Are they in
Maliki,
the air?
you're right.
Is there any way we can get them to where this United is?
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The streets have been shut down. There was very little traffic on the streets except for emergency vehicles going one way or the other. So there was not a lot of vehicle traffic in this area, but there were a lot of pedestrians.
Okay, there is now on the United 93.
Yes.
There is a report of black smoke in the last position I gave you.
Okay. So United 93 has now crashed. It's the one where the people fought back. The guy said, "Let's roll." Thank you. Trump failed. Asbestos and silica. That caused emphysema, lots of other issues with their lungs. And our politicians, being the monsters they are, refused to really give much funding to it until Jon Stewart pushed for it. Now, I don't know if they've talked about the Pentagon yet. I don't think they have. Okay, well, there goes the first tower. Let's watch that.
I mean, I pray for these people. There's no words to describe what's going on out there.
Well, first we have to know the full limits of
Also, does anyone remember who the mayor of New York was at this time? Please put it in chat.
this tragedy, and it's unprecedented, of course. But we have to stay above all united and calm and ready to take resolute action, which sometimes we have failed to do in the recent past.
Yep.
When the
Rudy
perpetrators
Giuliani.
are uncovered, and we have many
Giuliani.
Indicators of precisely who they are, this was too broadly based a terrorist act to be just a few crazies. This is a terrorist movement, and we know where they're located today. And obviously, as a nation, we're going to have to take action against them.
That sent.
Okay. Here we go.
Well, I'm not going to speculate because I don't have inside knowledge, and it would be rather foolish to do that. But I do think we have the means to assess it, and there will be many statements, many parties claiming credit somehow already have done so for the World Trade Center bombings.
Clearly, with what's going on in the skies, where even apparently innocent civilian airliners can be employed as weapons of terrorists, what is our military doing right now, General Haig? What should they be doing?
Well, they have to be on full alert, and I would have hoped that we would get some aircraft up in the air to enforce the ban on flights.
Okay, now you're going to see the first tower collapse.
Done if it has not already been done, and I'm sure it has been.
We saw the same thing.
All right, General Alexander Haig, former Secretary of State, thanks for being with us. Rick Leventhal, once again, with our producer Carlos Van Meek, is in Lower Manhattan. You cannot even see the sky there because of the soot, the ash, the crumbled concrete that is continuing to rain down after one of the two towers of the World Trade Center. The upper floors collapsed. This after this apparent terrorist attack this morning that sent a large jetliner, perhaps two large jetliners, slamming into the Twin Towers.
Come over this way, Pat.
You can see the chaos.
We can see the top of the building from here. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
There it goes, there it goes, there it goes. Oh, when it comes down, we're all right. We do need to put it down.
The other tower just collapsed.
We're right, Alan.
Major collapse.
Okay. All right, you guys. So I just kind of wanted to remind people of this. Thank you, Mouseword, for sending that. I had a video like that, but I think yours was better. Let me point something else out here, folks. For those that are feeling a certain way watching this, okay, you know how I'm always talking about the need for empathy. A lot of times America's foreign policy is making things like this a daily reality for some people in the world. Look at what's happening in Gaza. Okay. We funded Saudi Arabia, which dropped thousands of tons of bombs on Yemen. There are lots of other things like this. Okay. All people are human beings. This was a crime that against Americans and humanity as a whole. Other governments do similar things to their own population, to other populations. Sometimes our government supports it. This is my point here being, we need to remember that we are human beings first, right? And if this is horrifying to us, we ought to realize how it must feel for other people in the world who have to experience this stuff on a much more frequent basis. Or even, well, for example, what's happening in Ukraine right now because of their imperialist neighbor. All right. And don't think about how that might radicalize people. We had this one event in the United States that was horrific. Okay. 3,000 some people died. And it was very radicalizing. Okay, it was. It led people to seek a blood vengeance against Al Qaeda, and sometimes that translated into a hatred of Muslim people generally. It started 2 wars. Okay, and at the time we viewed that all as justified. And there are other people in the world who have been experiencing these kind of horrors for a much longer period of time, have experienced much more loss of life, and then they are dehumanized for the radicalization that occurs. Okay, just something to think about. Just something to think about. We're all human beings. Okay, and if this upsets you, you ought to be upset by other places in the world and other human beings that are experiencing the same things. Okay. All right. Thank you all for kind of watching that with me. Let me see here. I'm going to pull up my face here again. And by the way, folks, while I'm pulling up my face here, another thing to think about. It is very, the times where you want to be the most cautious about what actions you take are the times where you're deep in emotion. Okay. This was a very emotional event. It enraged many Americans. It made many of us scream for blood. I had a family member, for example, who I remember when the first bombs were dropping in Iraq, in Baghdad. This family member was in front of a TV cheering because of that sort of desire for revenge. Okay. It is in those moments when we are the most emotional that we need to pause and think. Those 2 wars were disastrous, not only for us, but for the world. Other countries that experience pretty horrific events, their populations, this is for everyone in chat. Think before you act on emotion, okay? Those are the times, the most emotional times are the times where you need to be able to pause the most, all right? October 7th, okay, I don't think I need to go into that, but you know what I'm saying here, all right? And also note that politicians will often exploit that emotion. We saw that with the Iraq war, not so much the Afghanistan war. That was sort of, I'm not saying it was justified, but that was sort of a direct, again, for the lefties in here, I'm not justifying this. I'm just saying the government didn't really lie about the reason for Afghanistan. They were going after the Taliban or Al-Qaeda, but it also inspired Americans to be okay with us starting a whole nother war. Okay, a whole nother war. All right, all just based off that emotion. So again, there's something to think about. Okay, there's a lot of lessons for us today, and that includes what happened yesterday. Okay, the emotion that comes from that. Yeah, absolutely, Joshua. Don't fall to demagoguery when you are feeling certain ways. Okay, those are the moments you need to pause. And really question how you're thinking, because our emotional brains can kind of mess with our rational brains. I knew what you meant, though, Joshua, okay? So again, folks, that's just my teacher moment there. All right. Okay. Make sure I pull this up. So again, folks, if we get 2 more super chats, I will stream for 30 more minutes. Right now, I'll stream for about 15 more minutes. And then if we get another super chat, 2 more super chats, I'll stream for 30 more minutes after that. Okay. So again, just something to be aware of. Also, by the way, I think we should make 9/11 a national holiday. Maybe partially selfishly so that we get more days off, but also because I think it's a good day for reflecting about how we respond to tragedy. Okay, but that's my little side note there. Okay, all right. Okay, guys. I know that's what Trump does say, that we already have too many. Yeah. Okay. Is that so, Mithril? I'm kind of curious. What did you say, Mithril? You know, it's possible, Mithril. I may have maybe I missed it. End that poll. Thank you, Odious Botch. Thank you. Okay, I do have orange. I'll put orange. Thank you. I'll put orange on one of them. I'm almost there, folks. I'll put orange on one of them. If we get one more super chat, folks, I'll extend it for 30 minutes. If I miss some people's chats, I apologize. I was so focused on that. I will go through them here in a second. There we go. I got orange on here. Thank you, Odious Blotch. Right. Oh, I agree, Matthew. We do need fewer work days to begin with. But since we live in a corrupt country, I really doubt that'll happen anytime soon. So, hey, at least we can get some, I guess, vacations in the meantime. Unless we take action, folks, to make it happen. Okay. Thank you for that. I still need to paint the other ones too. Yeah, paid holidays for the win. Okay, guys. One other thing here. Thank you, Odious. I got the orange on there. I actually still need to paint 2 more of them. I think I never did. I apologize for those. I said I would too. Let me do that real fast. What do we got here in chat? Let me see. What do people have to say? Are there any new updates about what the bomb threat at the DNC that we're aware of? Also, painting my nails is therapeutic to me. And after watching that, this is a great time to finish up some of these. Okay, I'll show you Odie's botch. 1 second. Let me just finish up this other nail because I didn't actually do a few of them because we were watching when I got the super chats. All right. Odious, there you go. It was not the best job, but do you see it? Hopefully you can see it. All right. Orange. Okay. All right. So let me just finish up the one more nail here I got to do. And then thank you, Odious. And then we'll have one more nail. And then if we do get that one more nail, I will stream it longer. Okay. Okay. All right. Last nail here. Oop. All right. Something else, folks, about 9/11, something that a lot of times doesn't get talked about. I can kind of understand why it doesn't get talked about because people don't want to make it sound like they don't like considering that our actions after this played into the enemy's hands. What do I mean by that? Okay. Osama bin Laden had actually fought against the Soviet Union in Afghanistan. And one of the reasons, definitely not the only reason, and maybe not even the most important reason, but definitely one of the reasons the Soviet Union ended up falling was because of their defeat in Afghanistan. Okay. And Osama bin Laden noticed this. And it is not a coincidence. In his writings, he always talks about the need to draw empires into a war in Afghanistan so that the empires could fall, drain their resources, fighting in historians call Afghanistan the graveyard of empires because there's been many empires that have gone there and been destroyed. Okay. Thank you, Oz. Okay, folks, I'll stream for 30 more minutes. Thank you very much. Okay. I'll paint it black, Oz. CEO Red Door. Okay. So he had this idea that he could do the same thing to the United States as was done to the Soviet Union by drawing them into an unwinnable war in Afghanistan. And although the United States did not collapse as a result of this war, it did result in huge national debt. It resulted in political polarization, some of which still affects us today. We have never the debt that we incurred because of those wars is one of the big issues that we still have with our debt today. It resulted indirectly in a lot of other issues in the United States because we didn't think before we acted. Okay, we kind of fell right into bin Laden's hands in a lot of ways, and he escaped initially. Right, he even got out of Afghanistan. Yeah, right, Dolly Boy. It kind of did put us on the road to what would be called a collapse. So my point here is, again, think when we're emotional. Okay. My nails are done. Thank you very much, Oz. I put black on the pinky for you. All right, I'll stream for 30 more minutes now. So I'll go till 3:30. All right, so let's see what else we got here, folks. I'm going to go to Discord. Let me see what we have to react to here. Again, folks, what I will do, what I am going to do here, I'll start another goal. If we get 5 more, I'll stream for an extra 30 minutes even. We can go... we can go to 4 o'clock. Okay. 30 more minutes. All right. Okay. Okay, guys. So let me look in Discord here. Let's see what we have to react to. I know I haven't been doing many reactions recently, so I just want to see what we got. Ooh, that looks good. Yaha, are you here, Yaha? Bunch of good stuff here. Let's try this. Thank you. Oh, thank you. You know what, Alyssa? Let's do that. Let's do that. This is I apologize, folks. I know I just finished talking about this, but Alyssa, thank you for sending this. Perfect timing. This is the actual voice message left by Brian Sweeney on 9/11. So let's listen to this real fast. Hello, Hamina. Hello, welcome, Hamina. So this is Brian Sweeney's 9/11 message. I had trouble finding the original previously, so this is it. So let's listen to it. Let me put up the
Jules, this is Ryan. Listen, on an airplane that's been hijacked, and things will go well, and it's not looking good. I just want you to know I absolutely love you. I want you to do good. So happy to find. Same to my parents and everybody. And I just totally love you, and I'll see you later. Bye, babe. I'll call you.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah, that was it. Okay. Thank you, Alyssa, for that. All right. Now, I did find there's another good video here I saw. I don't know if Yaha is here. I think that is what's his name?
Somebody yesterday asked me if I'd.
Oops. Haha, Vosh popped up on my screen. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Let's do this one. This one is called How I Escaped the Alt-Right Pipeline. I'm curious to see what it is.
My sister was using an AI in real time while interviewing for a 6-figure job.
Give me a second.
What was that thing? This video is...
One second. I'm trying to figure out where that noise is coming from.
Space.
I don't know if anyone else can hear it, but I can. Oh, I found it. Okay, that's it. Okay, there. All right, so let's watch this. How I... Well, it actually might be too long. Let me find something else here. This is a bit too long. You know what? No, we'll watch it. We'll just watch it. Okay, so this is How I Escaped the Alt-Right Pipeline. For those who don't know, the alt-right is sort of the far-right community on YouTube. Modern day, very far-right people, sort of a mix of white nationalism, incel culture, things like that. It's Jonas. Okay. Well, I'm going to watch it, even though I know Jonas isn't here, but hopefully he'll see it later. Thank you guys who has contributed. So now I'll do this now. So here we go. How do I escape the alt-right pipeline? Let's go.
Yes, my brothers, my brodies, my woadies. I'm going to do another one of these little talk to cams. You might have noticed, through some of my videos, I officially joined the woke brigade. It's unfortunate. I didn't really want to, but I'm going to talk how we got here. My political arc has been pretty insane. At one point, I was in a Nico Malama video supporting Trump. That's me. I'll admit it. Blurry boy.
Trump supporters UK. I'm here. Look at my hat.
I am very fascinated by how people get out of this, because it is very difficult to escape cult-like mentalities. I used to volunteer for an organization called oh my God, recovering from religion, which help people get out of cults. It is not easy. Okay.
Love Donald Trump.
So today we're going to talk about how I managed to escape the alt-right pipeline.
Up yours, woke moralists. How big is it?
It's 200,000 population.
And how many lost?
45.
What? By the way,
There will never be peace on this earth. So
what happened to what's his face? What is his name? That lunatic we just saw. Is he still around? Like, I feel like I haven't heard from him for a while. What is his name? Jordan Peterson. I feel like I haven't heard from him for a while. Do we know? Does anyone know? Yeah, you're right, Dolly boy. Jordan Peterson. That's right. Is he still around? Like, I haven't heard much about him recently. Anyway. Okay. Kermit.
Look,
that's funny, Alyssa. Yeah, you were kind of right there.
Attacks on mosques, other minority communities singled out, wanton violence alongside racist rhetoric.
Oh, I believe it, Big Brain.
When I was a young gangster at YG, I was a little bruh, right? A little bruh. I'm about 13 years old. And we're invited into school. It was mandatory, we weren't invited. And we had to do a speech. So, my mate goes up and he does the history of Chelsea Football Club. A girl goes up and she does about horse riding. I go up with my little thumb drive, plug it in, 9/11. So I basically proceed to radicalise a classroom of young, impressionable 13-year-olds as to why the American government did 9/11.
who do you believe was behind 9/11?
Criminal elements of the military-industrial complex, the same ones that staged Gulf of Tonkin, the same ones that staged the mass shootings of Operation Gladio.
Right.
I was in this kind of like early conspiracy theory bubble. But what I want to say is it was interesting, right? Because at that time, being a conspiracy theorist wasn't left and right. It was just anti-establishment.
Hey, Meowzord, you're not the only one. Like, it speaks more to your character, Meowzord, that you're able to get out of it. It's hard to get out of it once you get into it.
And so, whilst I was listening to Alex Jones, I'd also be listening to the Young Turks and listening about Occupy Wall Street. So when I was young, I was just a sort of contrarian hipster. I'm not like a communist, but I'm definitely not a capitalist, and I'm definitely left-wing, and I definitely voted to remain in the EU referendum. And so time goes by, I grow up, and I remember I got, I had a few jobs working like fucking Sainsbury's or B&Q, and that was further fueling my sort of anti-capitalist feelings. But I remember I got one job, and I met this geezer, and he was a proper right-winger.
Capitalism is good because capitalism is freedom. Socialism is bad because socialism is tyranny.
It was like a right-winger in the flesh. I'd never seen one before. I was like, what the fuck hell is this? Capitalism good? Welfare state bad? NHS bad? But you see, although I deeply disagreed with all of his views at the beginning, you got to remember 13-year-old contrarian Jimmy.
Is anyone here, was anyone in here a left-winger? See ya, Big Braden. Was anyone here a left-winger and then became a right-winger and then went back to being left-winger or anything? I have not met many left-wingers that became right-wingers. I know they're out there, but I'm just curious.
He's still in there somewhere. And what he's hearing is contrarian
speak of the
views,
devil, right, Odious?
Anti-establishment, non-mainstream. Little old hipster Jimmy lapped up this sort of right-wing rhetoric because I realised it was different to everyone else, and that would make me interesting if I believed all these things, right? And like when I say right-wing, it's not, we don't like foreigners. It's stuff like this.
The people who get on welfare lose their human independence and feeling of dignity. They become subject to the dictates and whims of their welfare supervisor, who can tell them whether they.
Is this the male version of Is this the male version of Margaret Thatcher right here?
Can live here or there, whether they may put in a telephone, what they may do with their lives. They're treated like children.
So now I'm at the doors of the alt-right pipeline, right? I pick up my hat with the light,
Odious.
Turn the torch on, grab my pickaxe, and I head in. And the first stop is Jordan Peterson.
And then if I'd said to you, please, I'd rather go by she. How would you respond to that on a personal level?
The way I have responded to that, because I've had a number of conversations with transgendered individuals, is that I use whatever pronoun seems to go along with the persona that they're projecting publicly. How can I describe the fact that someone who was once a woman, and really still is, had her breasts cut off?
Yes, Matt Saigai, thank you, folks. We have great news here. For any Brazilians in chat, Jair Bolsonaro of Brazil was just found guilty of attempting a coup. Which is great news. Any authoritarian anywhere who finally faces justice is great. Hello, Mr. Justins. Okay, so, hey, I wish in our country we had similar accountability for people who try to do a coup, if you know what I mean. But everyone should at least celebrate a little bit. That is really good news, especially for the people of Brazil. They held their leader, their fascist leader, accountable, okay? All right.
Them had fallen prey to a viciously harmful
Saigai.
fad.
So bear in mind, I didn't go to university. I went and just tried to make little businesses. I did a parkour brand. I ran a vegan food store. I did lots of little things. And very importantly, I was not academic. Jordan Peterson, to young Jimmy, sounded like how I imagine smart people sound.
So even if you do happen to be that avatar of moral purity that you claim implicitly, the probability that you'd get to act out your goodness in relationship to those possessed by your ideology is zero.
He would use big words. He would do this with his hand. He would think and contemplate. Like, he was the sort of...
So Meowsword says, I didn't go full right, but I did start to be like welfare makes people lazy. And then realized how systematically unfair the world was. Yeah, Meowsword. I was a libertarian, folks. Like when I was in high school, at least I was a libertarian. And then it took me going to college to go to the left. But I mean, you know, I get it. Louise, why do all these American debaters speak so fast? It's because they, yeah, absolutely. It's called gish galloping, Louise. Like if you talk fast enough, you know, and you make a whole bunch of points, it makes it impossible to address all those points. You're right, Mr. Justins. Yep, Israel has been striking multiple countries while the stuff with Charlie Kirk has been going on. We talked about Qatar a few days, you know, a couple days ago. Maybe I'll do more on the international affairs here in a couple days. And you're right, Nepal is also on fire. So,
of caricature of a smart person, and it was very interesting because all.
Yeah, and by the way, folks, exactly. Unless I was indoctrinated by higher ed, right? Okay. I totally agree, Macy. Macy, you're after my heart there. I think we also need to teach more basic logic, right? Like, you know, A plus B equals, like, that's very good for understanding. Hello, Winterlinde. Hello, Winterlinde. Welcome back, Winterlinde. So something else, folks. One of the most prolific Holocaust deniers in the country, I think he's in Wisconsin or Minnesota, one of those states. He is a chemistry professor, and he is a tenured professor. So after he got tenure, he started spewing vile Holocaust denial, and he's very well spoken, and he is an educated man, at least when it comes to chemistry. And yet, like, you'll go to his chemistry class, and he'll start spewing anti-Semitic Holocaust denial, okay? Which is sort of the point here, right? Jordan Peterson is an educated person. But that doesn't mean that he knows what the hell he's talking about when he talks about politics or talks about other things, okay? And he can manipulate people by sounding very smart, but he's not. Okay. When it comes to certain topics, like there's certain topics, I know, right, Alyssa? It shouldn't be, but because he has tenure, there's a freedom of speech agreement there. So just be aware of that. Like, that's why I always try to tell you all when there's a topic I'm talking about that I'm not an expert on, because I don't, you know, I'm just a human. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Meowzord. Okay. So just be aware of that. Like, just because someone has and by the way, even if you are educated and the field you're educated in, still doesn't mean you're right about it. Okay. So again, just something to be cautious about.
His views tended to be quite contrarian to sort of mainstream views. And he would, again, like my friend, he would talk about the benefits of capitalism. He would talk about natural hierarchies and that it wasn't capitalism's fault for hierarchies, but hierarchies are natural. And so it's very interesting because if you think about what Jordan Peterson is.
So, folks, after we talked about hunter-gatherer groups, what do we think about that? Are hierarchies natural? Are they? Remember, we talked about hunter-gatherer groups, which is the form of existence humans had for most of existence. Okay. Yeah.
What he thinks and his words now. Back in 2016, it was very different, right?
As a matter of respect, in fact, would you refer to a trans person who asks you to use they, them pronouns?
Right, Dolly Boy?
That's not what we're talking about.
He rises to fame on what he is portraying as a free speech battle. The Canadian government are trying to make it so that if you say the wrong pronouns to a transgender person, you will go to jail.
So, folks, you're all right here, right? Like, it is possible to have human societies without hierarchy, as we saw with hunter-gatherer groups. Now, when it gets to civilization, it might be natural that there's some kind of hierarchy, but we don't need that kind of, it's not the same, we don't need the kind of hierarchy we have now, right? Like, anyway, so you're all right. Yeah.
There's something like, I don't believe in trans people, and so I don't believe I should say their pronouns. He's not saying that people who do transgender surgeries are butchers. He is saying that by law, I shouldn't be forced to say anything.
Difference between saying that there's something you can't say and saying that there are things that you have to say. And I regard these made-up pronouns, all of them, as the neologisms of radical PC authoritarians.
As I grew up, I kind of realized he missed.
Okay, shoving all those words together doesn't mean a damn thing. Now, this is something I know about. I know about those words, okay? Authoritarian, radical. He just shoves them together. Doesn't mean anything. Correct, Dolly Boy. Don't need this oppressive hierarchy, that's for sure.
Represented this bill and he was blowing things out of proportion. But if we just take it on face value and believe what he was saying, then yeah, it seemed illogical to oppose what he was saying. And so whilst I'm going through Jordan Peterson's books, his podcasts, his speeches, etc., I'm getting this feeling that there's this sort of crazy, indoctrinated Marxist left who are trying to suppress your freedom and usher in communism. And so all this is happening all the way in Canada where no one gives a fuck about. But what about here in Britain, right? In Britain, we have a sort of similar scenario. And it involves a man, a very
Britons never, never, never will be slaves. Rules Britannia. Britannia rules the waves. Okay, yeah, so for the English people in chat, see, I know it. I know the song. I know it.
Man by the name of Tommy Robinson.
My name is Rodney Tezar. Recently, I launched a new website called PresidentForDay.us. And the reason and the purpose behind that website is to foster.
Before we go any further, I want to give a massive shout out to today's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is undoubtedly the best, I'm not kidding, the best platform when it comes to making websites. Beautiful websites, ones that are perfectly tailored to you. With their new design intelligence, which combines the newest AI technology, plus their years of understanding and crafting beautiful website templates.
Trump failed. Will you give me some more context on that? Trump failed says every time you start talking about hierarchy, it leads into eugenics. Dolly Boy, I'm sorry. Okay. By the way, Dolly Boy, I used to play the bagpipes. I'm not even joking. But then I broke them and they were expensive, so I didn't get new ones. So, Trump failed. Every time you start talking about hierarchy, it leads to eugenics. Yeah, it can. Trump failed. Absolutely. Yeah.
Templates. You can now literally type in prompts to the AI and it will create a bespoke website to you and your brand. As well as that, their payment system. So if you're selling goods online and maybe you have customers all around the world, Squarespace takes so many different types of payments, it's now easier than ever. From Klarna to ACH Direct Debit, Apple Pay, and you can even do buy now, pay later with Afterpay and ClearPay. And also, the laborious job of writing product descriptions is the whole world easier with Squarespace's Blueprint AI.
Is the reason we're in
/use the code.
This book is the reason we're in such a mess.
Does he have a Quran? Was he holding a Quran? I mean, if he wants to hold up a Quran and say that's the reason we have such a mess, maybe he should also hold up a Bible and a Bhagavad Gita. Like, I mean, anyway.
Boys, I'm not proud of this, but I'm just being an honest person. I'm trying to explain where I was at, how I got to where I was, and how I am where I am now. So I come across Tommy Robinson in this period of time where he goes to jail for...
Guys, who's Tommy Robinson? I'm assuming this is an English person. I have not heard of this person. If someone will... anyone know who's... I'm just curious. I could look him up. Tommy Robinson.
He's presenting it to the audience online, trying to report on Muslim grooming gangs. He goes to...
Oh, I do know who this is. Okay, I do know who this is. The so-called Muslim grooming gangs. Okay, all right.
Jail. And I see this as a suppression of journalism, a suppression of free speech by a tyrannical government. You know, I ignored the fact that it was contempt of court, and he knew exactly it was contempt of court, and he did it deliberately to provoke this reaction. But the way it was being presented was very clever. Again, it was all about free speech. It wasn't about the underlying issue of Islam, etc., but it was just about free speech. And so when you're already primed to be sort of libertarian, pro-free speech, and you're perceiving these attacks on free speech, you start to wonder, why are they attacking these people for their speech? And it unfortunately has this effect of making you think that the person is a truth teller and the government tries to suppress them. And it reinforces your belief in what they're saying must have some truth to it if they want to hide it. So
this is one of the issues with liberalism, is like the focus on the right of free speech can be used as a cudgel to hide the content of what you're saying, right? You can just scream, you're going against my free speech, even if the free speech you're saying is vile and racist and oppresses people, okay?
Bad. And these people, what I would now consider grifters, they know that. They know that that's the response and the feeling it's going to create in people. They want to be martyrs because then people will follow them even more ardently.
It's so important for the establishment because they know it the people.
Gotcha, Matt.
Tommy Robinson, and free him now.
Oh, God. I know him. Exactly, Mr. Justice.
And so, yeah, I go to like a rally, like a free speech rally when Tommy Robinson's about to go to jail, and I come across Nico, and I see Nico, and I've seen him online, and I saw how he was trying to present everyone that went to a Tommy Robinson rally.
But Mix LLL, would you agree that, yeah, I mean, I'm an atheist, right? So I agree. I think there's a lot to criticize about a lot of organized religions. You would agree, right, Mix LL, that there's a lot to criticize about most major religions, right? Because I have seen a trend where people are very open to criticizing Islam without, and kind of don't go after like Christianity or any other religion, okay? And it seems to me to be reflective of okay. Thank you, Mixel. I just wanted to make sure. Forgive me. Okay.
As a racist, and I knew from my perspective and knowing who I was, I knew I wasn't a racist. And so I go up to Nico and I tell the people around him that he's trolling you and he's trying to like make you look stupid online. And then Nico does misrepresent me in the video, and he says that I went up to the police and told them to get rid of Nico.
The police then came over and surprise, he started crying to them as well.
When in reality, I was actually saying to the police that Nico has his free speech, because, I'm fucking obsessed with free speech in this period of time. I don't know why. I think it's the single most important thing on earth. But either way, like, as much as I disagree with myself for being at that rally and supporting Tommy Robinson in that time, I still stand by the fact that I don't think these people understood why people were presenting them as racist, right? And I just want to touch on that.
Tell me a Trump party right now. I support fake waffle. You're waffling, man. Yeah.
So I do know what the EDL is. I just looked it up to remind myself. I do know what the EDL is for the folks in the UK. It's basically just Islamophobic, fascist kind of organization, right? Yep, it is. All right, just making sure. And I remember that they have like a symbol. It's like a cross. Okay. I'm just reminding myself here, folks. I haven't looked into UK politics for a while. I'm going to be doing a stream on it sometime, though.
Answer the question. It's trade politics. How dare you fake this? How dare you?
Now from the view.
100% Meowzord. Islamophobia is often sort of a dog whistle for racism against brown Arabs. Okay, I mean, let's be honest. Yeah.
Have now, I understand there are sort of two types of racism. There's like overt racism, which is like, I fucking hate migrants when you send them back, they're the worst. And then you have this kind of more like subconscious racism, or like in effect racism. And what I mean by that is like, I knew I wasn't racist because I grew up very multiculturally and I liked people of different races. I had lots of friendships with them and I got along with them very well. So I never in my heart felt anything bad towards people of different races.
Right,
and what
Mr.
can happen
Justin
from there is
Sabidi.
when you think you're like immune to racism, you sometimes are more susceptible to it in a way, but just a different type of racism. These grifters know they can't just say that, I don't know, black people are inferior genetically, although some of them have started doing that again. They found sneakier ways of wrapping it, often by hiding behind culture. These pundits will lie and say stuff like 84% of grooming gangs are Asian Pakistani, which has been endlessly disproven. It is white people who make up the majority of grooming gangs. But all this misinformation can lead you to believe that their culture is...
I love our friends across the pond, and I'm so sorry that you have so many of the same lunatic right-wingers that we do here in terms of like the language they use and everything else.
Inferior to ours, and therefore we can't mix. And with the Tommy Robinson thing, it's kind of the same when it comes to Islam, right? You didn't hate people for being like having brown skin. You were simply critiquing their ideology, their beliefs.
You wouldn't do that with Sir William. Would you do that with the Bible? Show some respect. Show some respect. Show some respect.
Oh my God, Piers Morgan. Was that Piers Morgan? I'm shocked. Okay.
Have you read this for people? Have you read this? There are over 1 billion people.
So, I'm listening to the greatest hits, right? I'm listening to Ben Shapiro debate some 12-year-old feminist. I'm listening to Jordan Peterson, Matt Walsh, I'm Joe Rogan until I fucking die. And I find myself accepting that I must be right-wing now. And, little hipster Jimmy, that's cool because now I'm different to everyone. I'm the contrarian, right? I have all the different opinions. Oh, no, the sky isn't
This guy
blue,
knows what he's talking about. Matt Saigai, I'm really sorry to hear that. Matt Saigai says, I was harassed a few times in the UK because of my skin color and my facial hair. But I have to be honest, for the most part, it's been lovely. Okay, Matt Saigai. I'm sorry to hear that though, Matt Saigai. Admittedly, that happens in a lot of European countries, and not just Europe, by the way, America, Canada. Yep, you're right, Alan. I grew up in the War on Terror era, again, going back to 9/11 here, where the news told us that Muslims can't coexist in Western society by networks like Fox. Oh, yeah. Still a lot of that going on today, Alan, as you know. Piers is a broken clock. So you're right, Alyssa. Sometimes it has to be right? I will say, though, Piers has been pretty good about Israel recently. Is that so, Matt Saigai? I believe it. Matt Saigai says the U.S. was worse in your experience. I believe it, okay? Do you get people? Well, I won't go into that, but okay. Let's see what else we got here. As a Brit, all I can do is apologize for the morons. Hey, I think we have a lot of apologizing to do over here too, Mithril. So I get you. Jesus Christ, Matt Sai guy. Could you maybe go into that a bit if you don't mind? You don't have to if you don't want to, but Matt Sai guy says you got harassed at least 3 to 4 times in the span of 10 days. Jesus. I mean, I've been harassed before because I'm gay or whatever, but not like it's very rare because I am white. So I can talk about football or something and then people won't harass me. But yeah, okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, you're right, Mr. Justins. It is absolutely a factor in everything. I have a lot of privilege because I am white. Yeah, that's fair, Alyssa. Yeah, that's a good point, Alyssa. Alyssa, you're on fire right now. Maybe he is. He sees the writing on the wall, so he doesn't want to lose his audience. That's very possible. Okay, guys, I'll continue.
No, it's a shade of maroon. And like when you're listening to all this stuff, you get this sort of impression of the left, like what you're perceiving the left to be like, basically the worst of the left.
You know you're a millennial when you question whether or not it's ethical to...
Jesus Christ. I'm guessing your wife has some East Asian descent or something there during COVID due to the China. That's absolutely disgusting. Oh, goodness. Okay.
bring children into this world. Because of climate change, we don't really know whether or not the world's going to be habitable in 30 years.
And so you just get pushed further and further right from more of a reactionary position rather than some actual
Thank you, Alan, for
ideological
pointing that out.
and maybe academic understanding of economies and politics. It just sort of is a feeling. And it's so funny, like when Ben Shapiro and these sort of people get famous off of facts don't care about your feelings. But to be honest, like conservatives these days, it just seems to be mainly emotion. It's how they feel about topics. They hate when you bring up academic papers and actual facts.
They do.
And they don't trust any of that.
Remember what we've said multiple times, folks, the old fascist saying, Die Welt ist meine Vorstellung. The world is whatever my idea of it is. Facts don't matter. I'm rejecting the Enlightenment, thinking only about what you emotionally want to believe about the world. Very classic fascism.
Springfield. Hello, my name is Alexander Yermak. Until 2022, I was a musician, and now I am a soldier. In this war, I meet the best people of my life.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
And ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there had been no credible reports of...
By the way, folks, I live very near Springfield. I have been to Springfield, okay? Like, I'm in Ohio. Springfield is not far from me. It is a lovely city. Terrifying how it was demonized by the Trump administration.
Specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Either way, I find myself as a right-winger. I have not descended into overtly racist beliefs or overtly transphobic beliefs, misogynistic beliefs. I haven't gone that far, but I probably do house some sort of unconscious discriminatory beliefs in maybe trans people, perhaps even women to a degree. Again, often wrapping their push for equality and better rights as some kind of Marxist revolution. But I believe in the typical sort of right-wing viewpoint that the state should be smaller, that people are responsible for themselves, and probably that like poor people are just lazy and they need to fix their own shit, and that billionaires and corporations are really good and like, you know.
Matt Sai guy, I was sitting at a restaurant having lunch. There was this bunch of people sitting beside me, staring right at me the whole time and whispering. What are we doing? I mean, that's I don't even know what to say about that. I think you all know. Yeah, Pizza, you're right about fascism there. Okay. You're right, Alan. You're right. He did capitulate.
Sort of, unless they're the ones that, I don't know, Russell Brand says is bad, and then all of a sudden they're bad because they're tied to, I don't know, George Soros. George Soros business, bad. Bill Gates business, bad. But Elon Musk buying Twitter, good. Very good. Anyway, I'm deep in the pipeline, right? I'm deep. COVID happens. Obviously, I don't get vaxxed. I don't wear the mask. I'm sorry if I killed anyone. And, you know, again, I regret that position now. I literally didn't want to get vaxxed, not because I thought it had 5G in it or something, but just because I was so sort of libertarian right-wing that I didn't like the fact the government were telling me to do it. And like, I don't know, I'm here today, I'm vaccinated, and the woke police haven't come to my door yet, so probably I was overreacting.
Vaccine passports. While we've been looking in other directions, they are being slowly yet deliberately introduced.
Russell Brand,
are they the
Jesus
linchpin
Christ.
in a global surveillance network?
So you might be wondering, like, what was the moment? Like, when did it all change? When did the dam break?
Yeah, when
and
did
there was
the
a
dam
moment,
break?
right? And I can kind of point to it specifically. And it was through making my videos. Now, as you know, you guys watching, you're probably really into all the social political stuff I do. But originally, I was a parkour YouTuber. And then I became like an extreme sports YouTuber. And when I got to the end of this period in 2022, I wanted to diversify my content, right? And I remember genuinely, I thought I was probably even going to make like those sort of right-wing documentary series, like things like Jen or like some of Moon's stuff, you know, that kind of thing. I thought I'd end up in that ilk. But you see, because I was a smart bruh and I could read the room, I knew that I couldn't make a video why Jordan Peterson's the best man alive. I knew I had to take my time to kind of meander. So I made a video on a very specific topic about chavs.
Clothing brands that you didn't like were called chavs. Rough neighborhoods were considered chav infested. But what exactly is chav? And most importantly, where did they all go?
And so I made this video. It's really interesting if you rewatch it because my biases and all of my thinking going into this video is that chavs are bad because they were dickheads and they chose to be bad. But whilst making the video,
Alan, you're speaking my language here. Yeah, my rage is really largely reserved for the Democrats. I mean, I hate the Republicans, but I mean, like the Democrats have been complicit in making things worse for their base. Okay. Right, Matt. Oh, I believe in Matt Saigai. And don't get me wrong, folks. I am deeply aware of the extreme racism in the United States. But yeah, Matt Saigai. I'm glad to hear that you got some good encounters there.
I'm wanting to address the question like, where did chavs go? Why did they disappear? I stumbled across a geezer called Owen Jones.
I love Owen Jones. Now, if there's something like bad about him that I don't know aware of, don't tell me. Okay, no, but I do love Owen Jones. He's also super attractive. Anyway.
I see Owen Jones and all of but you see it in the video. I'm like, look, guys, I'm about to quote Owen Jones. I don't agree with him, but what he says about chavs is really interesting. You should probably listen to it.
Truly a war.
Oh, is it? Is the sound gone, folks? Can you not hear it?
Or in the public sphere. The author and journalist Owen Jones, who I have to admit I don't really agree with him on a lot, he wrote an entire book called Chavs.
So I read it and I'm like, fuck, maybe chavs were like a product of their environment and their economic status. Bear in mind, this is the opposite. This is the antithesis of my view, is that I would have believed as a right-winger that cultures are just like people who make decisions to behave.
Oh, Dolly Boy, maybe I'll watch it on stream sometime. I'd love to see his interview.
Even the way they want to. So these are bad people who are choosing to be bad. So after this video, I go down different rabbit holes. I'm making different subcultures. I do skinheads and I do football hooligans, which are both in a very interesting period of time, which is the Thatcher era. And the more I research into Thatcher and see how she completely flipped this country on its head, she completely radicalized Britain into being extreme neoliberal capitalists. And it's kind of become just assumed that that's how the world has always worked. That's how we are. But then I've discovered that at some point in society, we weren't fucking insane capitalists that we are right now. I've discovered this because there was a period of time called the post-war consensus, which I talk about fucking endlessly on this channel. But in that period of time, we followed a style of economics that was called Keynesianism, which meant that the government's job was to make sure everyone was employed and to tax the wealthy at higher rates, use that money to build infrastructure that benefited the people. And then bear in mind, you know, I'm listening to Donald Trump saying, make America great again, and everyone's harping on about how the world was better back in like the 60s and 50s. And then I find out the reason why it was better was because we had mass public investment. This investment led to the greatest economic boom in history, raised many of the working class into the middle class, which created a whole host of new industries, new products, basically, it was good shit. What we did then was good.
And yeah, I gotta tell you, for the folks in the chat from the UK, like I think your hatred of Thatcher is similar to a lot of lefty Americans' hatred of Reagan. Like it's a very similar sort of thing. Reagan currently burning in hell, obviously, if anyone wants to visit him. But yeah, I mean, she was. You all know she was kind of like the UK Reagan. So
you know, you got to bear in mind that I am being told the only answer to life's problems is dog eat dog, free market capitalism. Get the government out of everything. The government can do nothing.
Yeah, you're right. DVA.
Only the geniuses of commerce can do anything, like our water supply that has no piss and poo in it, or like our really quick and definitely on time and affordable train system, or like our really affordable housing that people definitely aren't speculating on and shrinking the middle class.
Private water companies are dumping huge amounts of raw sewage in Britain's rivers and off its coastlines. They're doing so to save money, to ensure returns for shareholders, and by extension, to guarantee massive salaries for bosses at the top.
And so yeah, time's going past, man, and I'm learning this shit, and I'm like, fuck, I'm starting to realise, like, I don't know if I believe all the things that I believe about right-wing politics, but I hadn't accepted it, right? I was becoming more and more distrustful. Things like this, right? One month I went on holiday to Thailand. I walk in a coffee shop and I see the most beautiful woman on earth who is now my wife, and she is Ukrainian. I go to Ukraine. Literally, during the war, I've been to Ukraine many times and I've experienced air raids. I've heard bombs go off.
Forgive me, Alan, I'll find it.
More attacks.
Peter must be having a slow day.
Badass mess.
All the while, I look on my phone at all the right-wingers talking about Ukraine, and they believe that Zelensky is like, I don't know, a blue-haired feminist or something.
I will stress again, one of the greatest...
That'd be badass if he was.
...enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine.
And they're trying to say that it's actually NATO, and NATO are the bad guys, and America's bad, even though we're...
Oh, God, Tucker goddamn Carlson. Do you remember that bit he did where he went into a Russian grocery store? Yeah, I know, Mithril, the things being thrown into the rivers. I know there was also an issue in London where a lot of restaurants weren't basically were dumping their oil and stuff into drains, and so there was a massive backlog of fats and things like that solidified in the drainage system and caused a massive, literally like a berg of like fats that they had to remove from the drain. Like there's a lot of issues with the water pollution and things like that in the UK. Your drag name is Carl Tuckerson. I love it. Okay. Yeah, I'll watch that. Forgive me. There have been so many in the reactions. I sometimes miss them. But we'll watch at some point. Yeah, exactly, Mixilla. Okay. By the way, folks, I have been to the UK. I did research at the British Museum. I actually like London a lot. I haven't been much into the countryside, but I loved the country when I was there. Yeah.
America is bad. And, you know, I'm learning more about the Ukrainian conflict and all the history of how it came to be and why we defend them and why we can't allow Russia to just go and take over sovereign nations. And so you learn more and more about this. But then there was two people I come across.
Blows against the empire. Yep, I just announced that. Very happy. Should be very happy that Bolsonaro is being held accountable.
That really like cemented the change, right? So I'm becoming distrustful of the right. I'm starting to see like, you know, their takes on Ukraine as being ridiculous. And then I come across a streamer. So right now we're deep in sort of
here we go.
Andrew blown up. And at first it was kind of, you know, it was kind of fun. It was like, especially if you're sort of a young right-wing libertarian type, you need to get strong to look after yourself, look after women, looking after the people you love. Like that sort of stuff was kind of nice. I started going to the gym, I started doing all that stuff. I was always sort of into the self-help stuff, so all that shit sounded good. And then he started to talk about women.
To some degree, as a man, you have to instill drama in the relationship, because if you don't, she's going to get bored.
No, that's very true, man.
And she's either going to leave, or she will instill the
disgusting.
drama, which gives her control.
Then you're seeing all these fresh and fit podcasts and Sneeko and all this crazy shit. And you're seeing like people making their entire livings complaining about women. And you're like, what the fuck is this? And there was one bro who would go on these shows, and his name was Destiny.
Women fare a lot better post-divorce than men do, bro. And the reason why is because they get the resource, they get the money, they get the children, they get put in a better situation financially.
No, they don't.
Yeah, dude, they get the house.
Moms don't live good on child support. That's not true. Have you ever seen a bitch on child support? She's not living the greatest fucking life. Women fare worse than men in almost every degree after divorces. So the idea of pretending...
What are you talking about?
Well, I don't know if I want to defend Destiny here. Destiny has some pretty repulsive takes. But maybe this may have been before that. I don't know.
They make more money. They have better dating strategies afterwards. Men just do better than women in almost every single metric post-divorce.
What? Bro, Destiny was really interesting.
Are you getting that William Wallace feeling?
Because he was a lefty, and he was proud to be a lefty. He didn't try and hide. He didn't say he was like a centrist. He was like, no, I'm on the left. But he didn't play into like the left-wing woke crazy stereotype. He was just a normal dude who presented left-wing ideas, but was really good at debating. Now remember, debating the left up until this point was Ben Shapiro debating a 4-year-old. But now you're seeing someone who's actually quite well versed in the beliefs of the right wing, debating them and winning.
Are you curious about everything and able to learn far more quickly than the people around you? Me at Peterson.
A lot. So I get into Destiny, right? And I even was going to make a video on Destiny. I might do it again one day. And I had a conversation with him on a stream, but I was so right-wing at the time, I didn't know how to make the video because I kind of had this mental block between really asking him sort of questions. But then the final nail in the coffin for me, at the point where I realized I was no longer right-wing, was when I came across Gary's economics.
You need to have structures in place in your economy that prevent the rich from taking all of the wealth. If you don't have that, history teaches us the rich get all of the wealth. And once the rich have all of the wealth, ordinary people end up with very poor living conditions. If you go to countries that are very unequal, India, South Africa, almost anywhere in Latin America, very unequal societies lead to very poor living standards.
Gary is like a working class geezer, and he became super wealthy as a trader. And his whole thesis was that income inequality is going to get worse.
This guy,
and he betted on that. He made money predicting that. And it came to fruition. Income inequality has got much worse.
Is that great, guys? I've never heard of Gary. I need to look these people up. You guys are helping me learn about a lot of folks I've not heard of before.
Interesting, right? He talked about income inequality and why it was bad and why it's bad for house prices and cost of living, etc. But the thing is, and I don't know if he doesn't really talk about this too much, but it unlocked this vault in the back of my brain. It was this old memory of a clip that Jordan Peterson had put out. And it was him talking about the correlation between income inequality and crime.
You know, you always hear this idea that poverty causes crime. That's a classic left-wing idea, but it's wrong. What causes crime, especially aggressive crime, is relative poverty. Poverty is when you don't have enough to eat. Relative poverty is when the guy next door has a much better car than you. The right wing really love to argue about culture.
Over there on
they always
Twitch.
say
Sorry,
that,
I only just saw your message.
The problems in society comes from people's ideas and beliefs and their values, which is super convenient, right? Because when anything goes bad, you can just say that, oh, well, it's because people are lazy or they're radical Marxist or this. All the while, there's no solution to that, right? What can you do? You can't change people's minds. So it's just like, oh, well, I guess we just have to accept the status quo. But when you fundamentally challenge that view, that sort of outcomes come from culture and people's individual decisions, and you start to realize that outcomes, you know, like negative outcomes, crime, poverty, people having less families, having less kids, that maybe doesn't come from culture. Maybe the reason that men and women aren't having kids and getting married isn't because they're no longer Christian and they don't believe in families.
Materialism.
Family.
We have to have a material understanding of reality.
No one can afford to have families. Maybe it's because most people in their 20s still haven't moved out of their parents' house. Maybe it's because they don't make enough money between two people to afford to have a child. There's all these things that are happening, and you realize that probably the economic system is causing this. And it isn't just that the testosterone levels in men have dropped because, I don't know, they've fucking touched receipts or something. And so yeah, the sort of like the needle drop, is that the expression? The pin drop? It all sort of made sense. I realized that I actually don't think everything is culture, and I think mainly things come from economics. I think most culture comes from economics. And like, yeah, of course, attitudes, values, beliefs, they also have an impact.
I'm going to take notes, folks.
You cannot understate economics.
To take notes so I can look up who some of these people are.
And so from there, as I've had my fucking left-wing epiphany, my left-wiffany, I start to really realize, like, kind of the woke stuff, yeah, it's annoying. Do we need to argue about if there's an egg in a salad emoji? Is that really that important? And you start seeing, like, I don't know, Matt Walsh, where he's done this whole documentary, What is a Woman? And he's the expert in this. Going on Joe Rogan, being asked how many kids are on puberty blockers because this is real fucking moral panic.
How many people have had this done?
Depends on what. I don't think we have exact numbers, but if we're talking about the drugs, I mean, millions.
It's a very small number, if that's right.
It says over the last 5 years, there were at least 4,780 adolescents who started puberty blockers and had a prior gender dysphoria diagnosis.
If your politics spends more time talking about, I don't know, what toilet a transgendered person is going to piss in, or the woke brigade, if it spends more time on that than the cost of living, the housing crisis, rising inequality, things that, you know, are actually important and actually affect your lives, if you're more focused on the former, then I hate to say it, but you've been bamboozled.
Google react to radical vegans screaming away by removing the egg from their salad emoji.
So what?
What about my rights as somebody who loves eggs to have the egg in the emoji?
It's an endless trope. These sort of moral panics, these clutching of pearls over social issues tend to seemingly always happen when there's economic problems. Like, I think it was in the 70s where they tried to ban...
Yeah, that is on design, right, folks? It's a distraction from the economic issues. We see it historically, where when the people are struggling economically, you suddenly see a growth in talking about nonsense that's irrelevant, okay? Like during the Great Depression, everyone was like, oh, jazz is going to ruin our kids, and like it always happens.
And Dungeons and Dragons, the board game, because it was satanic and demonic. It just so happened that the 70s was like a massive economic crisis. And so, the more I made these videos, the more I started to see these patterns,
his research.
Right? These patterns between the 20s and the 30s, the rise of fascism in the West, and how that seemed to tie in with the Great Depression. And then you notice that in the 70s and the 80s, you see the rise of the National Front, the racists and all this sort of stuff. That just happened to be the same time as stagflation and the oil crisis. And then now, lo and behold, 2024, we're in big economic problems, and it just so happens that the far right is on the rise, and the Tommy Robinson Farage followers are now throwing bricks at mosques.
This goes back to everything we've been saying, right? When people are struggling, you see a radicalization in the political spectrum.
It's a repeatable story, and like when I've made these videos, you start seeing these patterns, and you start seeing how it plays out, and it always comes back to economics. And like, look, I have no hatred towards people who are on the right. I actually feel a lot of sympathy to most right-wingers, because being where they were, I understand that they've kind of just been manipulated, typically. They've trusted people who present information that try and rile them up, that make a lot of money from doing so, and they distract them from real issues. And the thing is, they're feeling the real issues. The real issues are affecting them, and they're trying to work out why. What is it? And the right will always try and find scapegoats to point at. It always does it. And like, as I've learned more, as I've read the book from George Monbois, The Hidden Ideology of Neoliberalism, Yanis, I can never say his name, Vokoris or whatever, his book, Techno-Feudalism, I kind of realized, like, the argument should be about economics. The more I learn about the left and right economic theories, the more evidence that I can see that left-wing economics tends to result in better growth and prosperity for all people. Our system currently is great for the 1%. It's great for the ultra-wealthy because it monopolizes money into few hands. When you don't have rules to regulate certain businesses, when you tax people less and less, it becomes this like race to the bottom. And there's a funny reason as to why I believe in this kind of thing. And it ties back to my original right-wing ideology, is because of meritocracy. The right always claim to believe in meritocracy, that we should, as a society, reward people who are good at things, right? And I genuinely believe that. However, I don't believe meritocracy exists when some people can inherit the best education, eat the best foods, have time to do sports, be healthy, have time to learn the oboe and the trombone whilst doing the Free Peaks challenge. That person has such an incredible advantage over the person at the bottom of the hierarchy.
Absolutely.
The person who grew up in poverty, whose dad's in jail.
Yeah, the meritocracy is an illusion to a large extent. We could have a meritocracy if the playing field was fair, but it's not.
Whose mum has to work 3 jobs. That person who then has to leave home at 16 to pay rent and they can't afford to save a single penny. And the fact that this group of people that are living like this is growing, child poverty is growing, I think it's utterly insane to pretend that there is a meritocracy.
You're right,
but the right wing, through a very concerted effort, has brainwashed most of society to believe that this is inevitable. We can't fix this. There's nothing we can do about this. But we know we can. We have in the past. Countries do right now. And so that is where I land. If it means that I now have to wear a badge to show I'm part of the woke brigade,
that's amazing, Meowsword.
So be it. I've accepted that through actually delving into this stuff, looking into social economic problems, reading papers from academics, not listening to Jordan Peterson tell me that the academia world is overrun by...
Alan, you're not wrong there. I guess I should say it causes political polarization. We don't really have an extreme level. I mean, there are like some, but very few in the United States. But you do see people forming, like there's a lot more people becoming progressives. You see people moving towards the left, right? And then people going very far to the right.
Marxists. I've learned some stuff and I've challenged my way of viewing the world and had to challenge my ego at the same time. So I want to know you guys' evolution. Like, have you always believed in what you believe? Has it ever changed? What changed it? So drop that in the comments below. Join the Discord. I'll catch you next one.
Okay, that was a great video. I wish Jonas was here to see that. That was fantastic. I'm going to need to, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, you're right, Macy. Childhood poverty is radicalizing. There's also lots of studies about how poverty affects a child's brain development. For a lot of different ways. It can have lasting impacts on a person's life when they're young. And okay. All right, guys. So, okay. All right. I'm going to go. I've been on, I think, now for what? Almost 3 hours. So thank you all for staying with me. Let me do my last little bit here. Let me just see what we got here in the chat. Make sure I didn't see any much. I love there was a great conversation going on here between our folks, our friends from across the pond. I loved reading that. It was actually educational for me. Okay. Michael Sandel. I need to look that person up too, Matt Saigai. It's been fun. Thank you, Odious. That's funny, Macy Schroeder. All right, guys. So you know what I'm about to say here. I might come back on later. I might not. I'll see. If anything, I will be on tomorrow. And we have a nice longer stream on Fridays. Well, sometimes we'll see. Okay, but you all know what I'm going to say. Okay, you all know what I'm going to say. So let's do it. How shall we? First of all, free Palestine. Free Palestine. Second of all, never stop resisting. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves, and that includes when you watch me. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I am a human being. See what other people are saying. Don't get stuck in an information silo. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. Secondly, here, we are living in a fascist moment in this country and in other countries around the world, including the United Kingdom, okay? Fascism thrives when people lose faith in their democratic institutions because it's no longer providing for them and no longer giving them what they need to live good lives, okay? The way to fix this is through major reforms. We need major reforms in this country and in the UK, by the way, okay? You cannot stand in the center. If you stand in the center, the fascists will walk all over you, okay? You cannot stand in the center. We need to fight fascism. The way to do that is to get major reforms. Lastly, on the wall behind me is Chainbreaker. Chainbreaker has been passed down to my family. It's renowned. It is thought to have been responsible for the death of 7 slave owners, okay? Why do I have it back there? I have it back there to remind everyone that our ancestors made major sacrifices, including sometimes their lives, for some of the things we have today, fighting for the rights we have today, some of the economic freedoms, civil rights, women's rights, every kind of right you can think of. We cannot let their sacrifice go to waste, folks, and that includes around the world. We cannot let their sacrifice go to waste. Please don't let their sacrifice go to waste, okay? And always, always, always fight for a better future. And on that note, folks, you all have a good night, morning, day, wherever you may be in the world. I'll see you soon.